Well, we are back. It's not that long ago that we were just crowning a series champion for the last season of the Dark Horse DW12 series. We're back for a special one. Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gonson. Welcome to our coverage of the Dark Horse 2,000 Mile Ride Series. It's a Grand Slam tour of the IndyCar Triple Crown tracks on iRacing. We kick off this special 4-race series here at Michigan for the LPM Irish Hills 500, presented by the Joy of Driving. Now, he will be joining us probably here in a little bit, but it is the birthday of, actually a day after the birthday of the Catalyst Andrew Wood, so happy birthday to him. He's out celebrating with some friends. He might be joining us later tonight, but as I always do, if I need a good solid pinch hitter and someone that really understands oval racing and will probably call the winner at about the 100-mile mark when he discovers what everyone's fuel strategy is Kyle Klindworth. Clindy is here with me. He just got done with dinner too. I appreciate you getting here so quickly. Welcome. This is the Dark Horse DW12 series.
Thanks for having me, Gary. I'm so ready to watch these DW12s rip around the 2-mile high-banked oval here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Brooklyn, Michigan, as it is. I've been to this track in real life. You can see great sight lines from everywhere in the stands, and hopefully our cameras today help the viewers at home see all the action around the racetrack.
Yeah, this is actually one of the tracks that I've been to as well. Unfortunately, it was only a NASCAR race there, and Kurt Busch won. So, anyways,
hey, Denny Hamlin won the NASCAR race I watched here, so we're 2 for 2 on villain wins. So.
All right, well, qualifying is underway. Now, they are doing 2-lap average speed qualifying. Unfortunately, the overlay has really no way of tracking this. So we will do our best to set a starting lineup. It may not be accurate. We did, there's Mark Murphy out there turning some laps. I think he just completed his run. I did warn he was fast. Yes, he was. He is at the top of the list right now. I'll bring in what I think we have for times, and we'll just see how they line up. Yeah, Murphy at 2:28.4, Lovern with the 2:27.8, Teed with the 2:27.7. A lot of 2:27.7s from Lovern, Teed, Ramsey, Hobson, Peterson, and then we go to Reynolds with the 2:27.2, Bahutsky with the 2:26.1. And this is where the overlay gets weird, is then now we show Wheeler with the 2:27.4, lining up ninth. So his average must be slotting him actually ninth, but his fastest lap was a 2:27.4. And again, I tried to get a special script done in time. My developer was not able to deliver on that, unfortunately. So we're just going to do our best. And, I talked to the admins, and they've been pretty cool about this. So we're just going to line up and go racing here in about 4 minutes as other people get their runs done. There is the watchman, Mark Cohn. He is out there. He is the benevolent sponsor of all these races. He is the admin of the Joy of Driving. He's also a member of LPM Motorsports, who is the title sponsor of this broadcast and this race. And watch him put up a lap here. He had a very successful last season in the Dark Horse Series where he won, I think, 4 races going down the stretch there, and hopes to be one of the points challengers going into the next season, whenever that might start. We think possibly October.
And that's after this Grand Slam Super Series?
Yes.
Quadruple Crown?
Yes.
And for the viewers at home who may not know, it's going to be here at Michigan, Indianapolis, Pocono, and somewhere else. What's the 4th track?
We're going to go to Fontana.
Auto Club?
Yes.
Fontana.
And we do have time, as we have our mark going in the background here. We'll hide the vertical there. And I do have time to bring up the schedule. Here is the schedule coming up on your screen right now. Today, Michigan, 250 laps, and on August 11th, we will go back to another 2-mile oval. Unfortunately, it's the late, great California Speedway in Fontana for another 250-lap race. And then we head to the 2.5-mile ovals, as we'll go to the Tricky Triangle in early September, September 8th, for 200 laps at Pocono, and they will wrap up with 500 miles in September 22nd at Indianapolis. That is your 4-race schedule. Every race winner that wins a race will be presented with a watch from the watchman, Mark Cohn. He's a avid watch collector, and he has some very nice specimens that he can hand out to winners here. So it's going to be much like winning the Rolex 24. If you win, you get a watch. Still got a minute 50 left to play. Still showing the lineup as, and I'll bring up what we have, what we think is Murphy on the provisional pole, Wagner right in behind him, Stouffer, Cohn, Hysong. So we had a bunch of guys just join the 228 club. Murphy again with 228.4, Wagner with the 228.3, Stouffer with a 228.1, but there's Cohn there with a 228.228 or 288. So he must have had a slower average speed the slot in behind Stouffer. So what we're displaying is the fastest lap they did of that run, but we don't know the true story of really what happened here without that script working. We do have Jari Brubacher out there. We'll get the camera on him. There he is, JB. JB finished third in the Season 7 championship last year. Very successful run, a lot of podiums, but didn't get a win, and that kind of what held him back from getting up there as a contender late. But a lot of podiums, getting yourself in the position is the way to get there, get it halfway to a championship. Down the backstretch into 3. High entrance, going down to the white line, looking to complete his laps here. Jari Brubacher. Putting it in the book for JB. Where does he slot in? And he comes in right as the timer goes 000. So I think we had a couple late runs there, and we might have a change at the top. I think Craig Forsyth might have snuck his way into the pole there.
Seems like he just grabbed it.
All right, so we are getting ready to go racing. And we should get today's starting lineup here on the screen for you. And there you got it. Craig Forsyth sneaks in, getting that pole position over Murphy on the front row there. Row 2 is Matty Wagner and Stouffer. That is a teammate of Forsyth. So watch them team up together. There's Mark Cohn, the hostess with the mostest there. He's in row 3 with Hysong. On the outside of row 3. Inside of row 4, Gary Lovern. In the outside of row 4, we have Teed. And then back on row 5 is Ramsey and Hobson. Back in row 6 is Peterson and Reynolds. Row 7, Pahutsky and Jim Herrick. Row 8, Nick Wheeler, who we saw in our Thursday night exhibition race we had with the North America Sim Racing series. He's back there with Morales in the number 60. Brubacher slots in back in 9th. Fowler, we haven't seen him in a while, in 28. He's back in row 9 as well. And Hinton, Brandon Hinton there in row 10 as 19th fastest. Again, pretty typical here at Michigan. As long as you don't lose the draft, you're never really out of contention.
Well, and staying in the draft is critical to staying in contention because
Yes.
it helps you hit your fuel number. And it's faster. So being out on the track all by yourself, let's say you pit early or are off sequence, you're going to be something around the tune of 0.3 to 0.7 of a lap slower, depending on what the cars in front of you are doing. If they're 3 wide, 3 deep, you'll probably maybe be able to catch up with a drafting buddy. If they're in line, swapping, taking care of one another, they're going to be putting down some monster times, and you won't be able to catch up all by yourself.
Here are the weather conditions tonight. Track temperature is 77 degrees. Ambient temperature is 66. So you know what that means, folks. It is going to be a pack race.
Stacked up. 4 wide, 4 deep. Let's see it.
Pit road speed limit for tonight is 55 miles per hour. It's a 100% fuel capacity, unlimited tires. I believe they get 1 fast repair. That is a standard dark horse rule there. And most of the time, you don't see they don't see a lot of the drivers. In fact, I don't remember seeing any of the drivers when I've been broadcasting really abuse that. So they pit road speed limit is 55, like I mentioned. We are looking at a 2-mile D-shaped oval, 250 laps, 500 miles. Getting ready to go racing. 3 IndyCar track records here. There's a USAC track record, a kart track record, and the IRL IndyCar track record. But the overall track record is held by Paul Tracy in 2000 with a speed of 234.9. It's hard to believe that's a 24-year-old record now. Getting ready to go green. Green flag in the air, and we are on for a long night of racing. 500 miles, not a sprint race. Let's see how these guys let these things shake out. We've seen in the past that trouble with tires have been the biggest issue with these cars. Let's see if that's fixed tonight with these cooler temperatures, as we're already 3 wide going into turn 1 and 2.
Like the drivers sorted out coming out of 4 here. Couple of side-by-side battles, but nobody's decided to stick it 3 wide for the entirety of lap 1. Except for the leaders.
Except for the leaders. There we go. And Mark Cohn, the watchman, going right to the lead.
Looking to save on shipping. Himself to watch instead of set it somewhere else.
He's like, I like my collection. I'll give incentive for people to race, but I don't want to give my stuff away. Matt Wagner way up high. Whoa, he's going to the back, and he's going to be joining him real quick. Yuri Brubacher, JB, evasive action to the high side, going into 1, 3 wide, boys. Not a lot of room.
Got a couple 5 faces of a die. Pips, 2 by 1 by 2, stacked up to be 3. Fighting fiercely for second through 12.
Brubacher's already up to second. Up 15 spots already, JB is. 3 laps and 15 spots.
Putting up crazy numbers on the pass differential sheet, but probably not too good for his fuel number.
Now, I think maybe he wants to get in behind Stouffer and, well, I don't know. Nope. I should have. I know him as a racer. I don't know him.
Going.
Yeah, I don't
hunting.
know him as being one that's patient. I know him as a racer. He's going to the front. There he goes.
So we may soon see a couple of different strategies develop in the pack here. You may see some obvious fuel savers. If this race goes green the entire distance, you can make it with 5 stops if you go 42 laps every single time. 42 laps is about 5 or 6 laps longer than leading would get you. I would say if you were drafting and lifting on the straights, you can make that 42 number. It's going to be difficult, but it is possible.
And to no one's surprise, Yuri Brubacher already with the purple lap with a 32.8.
Gap from first to last is under 2 seconds, Gary. Look at them fly around this mile. 2-mile oval.
This track rarely disappoints. In its later years when IndyCar was here, fantastic races. In its early years, it was a race of attrition. Once they got reliability of all the cars, the chassis, the engines, you name it, the races here became ones that you really couldn't miss on a schedule. But they really have not returned here for quite a while, and they need to get back here if they can.
So I believe Hobson and Hinton are swap drafting at the front, and they're going to break away here. If they continue executing as well as they have, they're going to be putting themselves out of touch from the rest of the pack here in just a matter of laps.
That's Hobson and JB. Yeah, JB, these are two regulars in the Dark Horse Series. Raced with each other a number of times. Hobson and Brubacher, a number of close calls with victories last season, but didn't quite seal the deal. But they know each other, and they are working with each other, trying to get a bit of a gap back to Cone, about 4/10 back to Cone between those lead two.
Yeah, this DW12, the draft envelope is not as big as the IR18s. It's only about a second. So if they can double their lead that they have now, they can start scooting all by themselves and not have to worry about having people riding their coattails.
Yeah, it's interesting how this is a bigger car in terms of how much it punches a hole in the air than the IR18, but the IR18 in the sim has a bigger draft envelope. It stretches back about a second and a half in the IR18. With this car, with the older model, in terms of how it's been coded and programmed, it's only about a second.
Owen, Teed, and Stouffer have all fallen in line single file, trying to play nice here to keep the draft of those first two on the rest of the pack. They're about 6/10 back now. Again, two more good swap laps from JB and Hobson, and they're probably gone.
Yeah, 5/10 to Cone now. JB last season, 1 pole. That's all he did, but he did have 7 top 5s and 11 top 10s.
He gets stabilized here at just about half a second. They didn't lose any time that lap, the rest of the pack.
AJ Hobson, 1 of top 5, 2 top 10s last season in the series.
Yep, and then they failed to execute the swap there cleanly on the front stretch, and the rest of the pack is right back
and then
on.
Cone's right back in. There they are, 2/10 now, 1/10. Cone going out wide. Not sure why he decided to go out wide. Decided maybe he just needs some clean air. Maybe he wants to cycle to the back. That might be what he's trying to do.
He just came over comms and said, "Pass me high, everybody pass me high." So
this is
looking to work with the teammate.
Yeah, this is one of those planned moves. He's there with Eric Peterson. Peterson, one of the admins of the series, still looking for his first win in the series. He's going to get one. I know he is. Just a matter of time. Going underneath Mark Murphy. Murph had himself a good season. And the partial season that he drove in the DW12s the last season, I think he had 1 win. I think he won at Indy. Which that was a 500-miler, so he has at least some recent 500-mile experience in these cars.
We put a watch bounty on most laps led.
Sorry, Eric Schaus run the race at Indy. I'm sorry about that. I know. I have to go back and look. I know Murph won. Yeah, he won at. They went to Motegi. But Cone won 4 races during the season last year, including 3 out of the last 5. We're going to look back up to the front with Hobson now with Teed. JB moving back a spot. probably thinking that now's a good time to save. Stouffer, probably one of the fastest guys that I've seen in just about any type of car. Very patiently right there in fourth. He's looking forward to getting back to Pocono. He is very much a Pocono whisperer. We'll look forward to that on the third race of the schedule. Right behind him is Raphael Reynolds, making his first start in the series very quietly and very calmly working his way up to fifth, just staying in line.
Up 7 spots. Good showing from him so far if this is his debut.
Now here's a line of guys that definitely have a lot of experience. Forsyth, Lover, and Herrick and Fowler. These guys have many starts in these cars. Whether it be a different series for Lovern. Lovern primarily here in Dark Horse, but when you take in account the Lionheart Speedway Series, which raced the DW12s, Forsyth is a winner there. Jim Herrick ran there. Chris Fowler ran there very successfully, as a matter of fact. So these guys are not stranger to these cars. Lap 18 of 250 in the books. Thanks for joining us here on P1 Broadcasting. Our first DW12 race on the channel. If you're enjoying the coverage, please do us a solid. Make sure, if you respect the stream, make sure you support us by subscribing. That's the biggest thing we do. We are a new channel. We're old hands at doing this. We're the old voices. We've done this before. Just start a new channel. The hardest part of being on YouTube is when you have to start from zero. We have to build all the way back up. So we really need your subscription. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and ring the bell so you don't miss out on a future P1 iRacing broadcast. And more are being added to our slate, including round 2 here. That will be next month. And also we have another recruitment race for the NASR. That will also be next month. And then pretty soon the start of the iRacing 2024 Season 4 IndyCar Oval Series. That will be in September as well.
If you can, if it's not too much to ask, go ahead and click that thumbs up button and say something in chat.
Yeah.
I'd like to interact with y'all. Good to see you all here tonight. Got 4
chat.
thumbs up already.
Everybody's being everyone's being behaved though.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, well behaved, everyone.
I was actually going to say the opposite, Gary. We're starting to see them fan out in the corners to try to save their tires. While they're staying in line to hit the fuel number, I think, to hit that 42 lap number, which is going to be difficult.
Well, they're halfway through a run. If that's the case, we're at 21 right now.
I think JB is going to be a little hard pressed to hit that 42, but everyone else here, I think, is just making sure that their tires will last the distance to get to that fuel number, because I hear a lot of cars at partial throttle, and some of them are bored of it. I think that is, who is it? Splitting them 3 wide everywhere. It's Nick Wheeler.
Let's take a look. Let's ride along with Nick. Oh, contact Nick, and he's going sliding into the attenuator. And we're, I don't know if we're under caution. Oh, wow. He had contact with Rafi Reynolds.
I'm not sure if Raffy didn't see him there, or they were just going for the same bit of draft. Nick's going to have to tow to get his fast repair, but... man, punished for trying to move and carve up through the pack. Giving us something exciting to shout about, and Raffy decided to put an end to that. Yeah,
let's take a look here. We'll watch. He was down low. And yeah, Rafi just came down on him. Wasn't aware of spatial awareness of what was underneath him, and he just came down and made contact. Gotta listen to your spotters here. Meanwhile, back up front is AJ Hobson.
Splitting Gary Lovern 3 wide here. Raffy Reynolds and I believe Jim Herrick.
Yeah, Jim Herrick sneaking up to the top, getting on by. Move Herrick up into the top 5.
Lovern follows in line here.
And Herrick has a teammate just below him and behind him. That's Stouffer. Now we're down. Stouffer all by himself on the bottom. He's going to slot up. Nope, he's not going to. Fowler gets the into the hole before really Stouffer has a chance to float up into it. But
also
he is
all by himself. And
yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
He's also going to be joined by other teammates here. He's got Devin Ramsey there in a 4D car, as well as Craig Forsyth joining him. So he's going to have some teammates here shortly, some wingmen to help him out. Very middle of the pack, though. Seems to be settling down, though, after we've lost one car due to an incident. Although Nick might be back on the track, I think.
Is indeed. He just ran his first full lap out of the pits.
Now, the good news for Nick, if there's a caution now, he's going to be, obviously, he'll stay out, get the wave around, and get one of his laps back. And also, they do have the lucky dog enabled in this league as well, so he would be able to get at least in one way or another one of his laps back if there would be a caution right now.
Yeah, the lucky dog would be even better for him. He would get to wave around and be on the same fuel strategy as everyone else.
Move Reynolds up to third. Teed still tucked in behind Hobson for second. Brubacher is in fourth. Jim Herrick fifth. We're about just about 12 laps from when we anticipate first stops occurring.
Obviously, every lap you can go further than 42 means you can go harder on the remaining runs in the race. So if you can stretch it to 43, you only have to go 41 at the end. If you can do 43 2 times, then you only have to go 40 at the end. Every time you do an extra lap, that's one less lap you have to do at the end of the race, which is just harder, faster that you can run there when its pay window opens.
And there is a very
3 wide action in the back.
Yeah, look at that. Mark Murphy deciding to go 3 wide, or at least getting involved in an action that went 3 wide. Now they've kind of settled it down a little bit. Here's Mark to the bottom.
Bump drafting. That was Forsyth.
Now we're 4 wide down the backstretch. Back to 3 wide. Wagner down low. Mark Cohn with the new fast lap that time by 32.299. 32.299. That is going to be then we got the fastest laps. Got 2:23 flat for Cohn, who's now your new leader.
I think we're fixing to have some elbows out racing here at the front, Gary.
Yeah, I think some people decided it was time to go, and all of a sudden it looks like the final lap of a fixed oval series race here. We are 4 wide in turn 4, or turn 1.
They must have been cleared by the man on the pit box.
No
saying,
kidding.
Hey, you got to get 42. Hammer down, boys.
Hobson staying, not even coming off the bottom. He's really trying to guard that bottom line, although here comes Teed. Teed with the run, Hobson to the bottom.
Where'd Murphy come from? Wasn't he 10th like 2 laps ago?
Yeah. He went to the bottom, passed a bunch of cars, and went to the top and passed the rest. So watch, you're going to see, this is Hobson right here. He is not going to come off the bottom at all. He's actually going to arc into the corner, and then so he goes up high, and then he'll come back down low here. Teed sees the bottom, but then as soon as on the corner exit, he goes right to the bottom, kind of closes off to the white line. Teed is not really challenging. You can even hear him kind of throttle back a little bit. And now Murph goes to go to P2. We're going to take a look on the outside of Hobson.
He's going to lead this lap. Oh, yeah, he did. By 3/1000ths of a second. Now they're looking 3 wide. Here comes Rappy Reynolds on the outside. JB's going to have a monster run. Oh, he lifted. Come on, JB, push it 4.
Oh, AJ coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's been leading for quite a while, so he's not going to try for that 42 number at all. He's going 35 full push the rest of the race.
Gotta get the camera on him. There he is. So he is a little early, about 6 laps, but he hits his mark, got safely to pit road, and it looks like he is getting...
and Cone are coming in.
Okay, so again, some of these guys early. Oh, with Wagner. Oh no!
Trouble the pit road.
A little bit of a kiss there, a little kiss collision between Cone and Wagner. They'll probably have to execute the fast repair a lot earlier than they want to. I don't see any damage, but there might be something slight. That's not going to be good for Mark, because Mark's going to be done in a way and be away from their draft.
Yeah, Wagner got a little bit of damage. I think Cone got away scot-free.
Yeah, and there's a way to get that wing repaired for Wagner. That's going to cost them. That's 5 seconds. It doesn't seem like long, but it's forever in these cars. They're going to go a lap down. Mark should be able to tack on to the backside, and there's AJ. So AJ's going to beat him out.
Murphy did not get down to pit road speed aggressively, and I think that's what caused the stack up behind him between Wagner and Cone.
High Song coming to pit road.
More takers. High Song and Hinton.
Reynolds is now your leader. So now, I mean, he's our new leader. He's worked his way up to the front. Unfortunately, had that incident with Wheeler. So very early on in your first dark horse race, and a lot of series regulars are racing around a new guy that's already made contact with another car. How does that impact how you race around a guy that you don't really know, but you know that he's already caused contact? Oh, and did he speed?
Gonna be close. I haven't heard anything come over comms yet. Jim Herrick seems to be the only one live for 42.
Oh, Fowler, 39. So Fowler and Herrick both at 39. They've been in the mid pack for much of the race. Oh, Fowler with a great move on the high side. Does he slow down in time? That was a pass for position.
Yeah, he got down to 55 just in time. Perfectly executed.
So no one's been able to get to that 42 number. They got close. They did have to run one extra pace lap. True.
A pace lap is probably half as much fuel as a green flag lap, probably a quarter as much usually. And they had to do a get up to speed lap, which is also worse for fuel economy.
Yep.
It will be difficult, really, really hard to get the 42 number, but they did make 41 this time. If they can make 43 on the next 2 runs, they'll be back to where they need to be. And the only 2 live for that, again, are Herrick and Fowler, the 028 and the 40.
And Fowler has cycled out to P2, although he's in the middle of a hornet's nest, 4 wide. Now 3 wide, three cars, a single row, 3 cars deep, just past him on the high side freight train. And they're going to be joined by Craig Forsyth here in just a moment. But looked like Fowler came out second until the cars caught him on racetrack.
It was how quickly he got down to pit road speed.
Yeah.
Gained him so much track position. AJ Hobson is on an island in first place, getting terrible fuel economy, but he doesn't care. They're getting smaller in his mirror, and he's driving away.
Yeah, he has a 1.8 second lead over Murph. Murph's in a whole battle of cars there. They're basically all right there at that 1.8 second mark behind him. So right now Hobson he's extended his lead beyond the draft envelope. So the guys in second and third and fourth and fifth, they need to get in line very quickly, decide if they're going to race each other or they're going to try to catch Hobson. They might just decide that since Hobson pitted so early that it's better for them to worry about their own fuel mileage and less about Hobson.
Well, I think Fowler is the only one in this group that really cares about saving fuel any longer.
Right.
I think everyone else is going to be abandoning cutting a stop. So you see Fowler's here tucked at the end of the first pack, right behind Forsyth. I don't expect him to make a move or step out of line, while you see Murphy and Teed working together, swap drafting every corner to try to catch AJ Hobson.
And then there's another group right behind them of 4 cars with Stouffer. We got also in there Cohn. We got Reynolds. We got Herrick. They are capturing this group. So we're going to have a 5-car group now become a 9-car group very quickly.
And then Herrick will be the other car who you will see just tack on at the end of this pack, never step out of line, and really feather and be light on the throttle. Look at them go 3 wide trying to catch that first pack. Raffy Reynolds wants to be the first car there. And Jim Herrick loves it. Having 3 cars in front of you, punching the biggest hole of air he's ever seen, he probably just got double his standard fuel economy right there.
46 of 250. Thank you very much for joining us. The season-long race coverage of the Dark Horse 2,000 Mile Ride Series is brought to you by the Joy of Racing. Let's get the camera on Mr. Joy of Racing, shall we? Here he is, Mark Cohn, in that Tom Sneva throwback there.
So getting back to shuffling this deck of cards back into order, you have the leader on one island, then 2 large packs, and then Matt Wagner and Nick Wheeler running around the track by themselves by their lonesome. Matt because he had to replace his front wing, and Wheeler because he had contact with Raffy Reynolds earlier.
Yeah, but Wheeler got a lap back, and that's a big thing for Wheeler. He got a lap back, so if he gets a caution, he'll get that lap. He'll get the lucky dog, and we'll be right back with these guys again.
Well, so he pit on lap 23 when he had that incident, and he got the lap back because everyone else pitted.
Yep, and he was out. Yep.
So he's got about 16 more laps before he needs to pit again. So if he can get a yellow here in the next 20 laps or so, he'll be able to get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap, and be right on pace with everyone else.
Well, do you want to thank Mark Cohn for...
second pack is trying to give it to him.
Well, let's go back to there. There it is. I do want to thank Mark Cohn and for sponsoring Looking for Entertainment sim racing content. Look no further than the Joy of Racing channel. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins, which he gets a lot of. Avoids wrecks with, as he says, cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary sure to make you laugh, cry, or both. Follow along by subscribing to the Joy of Driving channel on YouTube or like his Facebook page at The Joy of Driving. I want to thank him for sponsoring the 2,000 Mile Ride all season long here between now and Indianapolis. And we're watching this other pack in the back. This is the third pack, I guess, which is Peterson, Ramsey, Lovern, Hinton, and Highsong, among others in this group.
AJ Hobson's going to have company here in about 2 laps. Raffy Reynolds is going to have his have his wake. He's going to grab onto it and then pull himself like he's on the end of a rope. One hand over the other, pull him closer and closer.
We'll watch out the back of Hobson's car. See this group get closer and closer and closer.
Now, see, Gary, a lot of times you ask me whether or not I'm a proponent or a fan of the dragon or snaking to break the draft. In this instance, Hobson should not do it. What is happening will be inevitable. He will only get caught faster if he snakes from this far out.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there. 100 miles down, 400 miles to go. I think when you do, and I certainly when I race people at Pocono, I see them do the snake, especially down the front straight, or the dragon. I prefer the snake. The dragon seems to be some... Oh, Hobson blinked out there for a moment. The dragon is something that I guess for Viking purposes, I'm guessing because of Ericsson. But we go back to doing the snake. I think when you do that down the straightaway, you're also scrubbing off speed.
Just a little. It depends. Like, Pocono's front stretch is so flat, same with Indianapolis, is that it doesn't cost you that much. It costs you much, much more when the straightaway you're swerving on is banked. Michigan's backstretch is banked just a little, but the front stretch is banked a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you're weaving back and forth on that, you're going uphill whenever you're turning back to the right. That kills your momentum.
Looking in the chat windows, it looks like Cohn, Murphy, and Wagner are at least our teammates for this race. Stouffer, Forsyth, Ramsey, and Herrick, all the 4D squad. And then they have a bunch of guys in the just classified as dark horse racing, which is Hobson, Teed, Peterson, Heisong, and Reynolds. They were 3 wide. Murph now is broken to the head of that group, and now he's within a half second of Hobson. Hobson.
Reynolds wants to get there first.
He does not want to be waiting for anyone. Here they are. And there they go. And he's just getting passed on all sides right now. Oh, Murph. Little wiggle there. The car to watch in this group is P10. Yeah, 2x2 now. Looks like the start of the race.
Yeah, the car in P10 is Chris Fowler. At the end of this pack, not making any moves. Watching his MPG soar probably around 4.4 to 5.1 in that ballpark.
And we'll watch right there. There is his driving inputs and telemetry from the car. 210, 211, 212. Just staying right in line. Where the line goes in front of him, he goes too. He's preferring to stay behind Brubacher, although I think going through the corner, he might go down low. Every car in front of him holding the lane, so he's getting dirty air any way he looks at it going through the corner. I think he's going to tuck up underneath Forsyth here, which isn't a bad strategy if you think about it. The number of starts Forsyth has, number of wins he has in these cars, I would definitely, if there was one driver up front, I'd definitely choose to follow Forsyth if I had my choice. Mark's not going to like that. I'd follow you, Mark. Really, I would. I would, Mark.
So, I'm going to contest that. I don't want to follow Mark because I can't pass him.
Oh, Brubacher's thinking about coming down. Oh, big roll out of the throttle for Fowler underneath 200 miles per hour. And that might put him in danger of losing that pack.
As long as JB catches up for him and Fowler can just tuck in right behind and, ride the coattails, ride the horse, so to speak.
Yeah.
Be the sled. He doesn't care. The closer he can be to the car in front of him, the better off he'll be. They're fine.
3 wide for that second group down the backstretch. They are slowly starting to creep into the picture.
Yeah, the lap times are about 1/10 of a second better than the leader.
Yeah, Peterson, though, is 3
are,
seconds back from that first group, though, so they're not really gaining, actually.
Well, we'll find out in about 30 laps. Best case scenario for that group back there is that 2 or 3 cars from this lead group don't execute well on their next stop.
Yeah.
And that everyone in that second pack does. And then that will kind of let the 2 packs naturally blend back together. And that's basically what put them in this predicament to begin with, is that they were, 2 seconds or so slower on pit road, and that's just enough to cycle back behind. What you need to look out for is not compounding that issue, knowing that you're behind and pushing the envelope either on entry and exit, either speeding coming in on pit road with the limiter, taking it off too soon, or spinning, trying to get onto the track fast.
Oh, yeah.
This flat is slick and dangerous. The apron is unforgiving.
Teed going to the high side, working his way around Reynolds. Going to get a big run down the backstretch. Almost a little contact with Reynolds. Reynolds is going to get actually a run because of the draft. Now here's Teed again, high side, getting a good run. And he's also got the draft of Cone. That might move him right up. Murph's going to sneak up there and at least try to widen his car out a little bit, keep him out of the draft of out of Cone, and keep him out of on the high side with no help. That was a very strategic move by Murph.
Oh yeah, man, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. Here comes that group down the backstretch. Check out the turbulence of this camera when they go by. Well, they might not. Now that they're so low on the racetrack, we'll see. Yeah, they're not out by the camera, so not a lot of turbulence there. There's a turbulence for that second group.
I heard you.
That's right, guys. You gotta make me look good. I'm trying to make you guys look good.
Yeah, no Instagram or Snapchat filters to make them super handsome or anything like that.
"29 laps into his run for A.J. Hobson. Did 35 last time, so he is probably now 5 laps away from looking at pit stop number 2, this 500-mile race here at Michigan. If you're just joining us, welcome everybody to the L&P Irish Hills 500 presented by The Joy of Driving. This is P1 coverage of that race. Right now, we are 66th lap into a scheduled 250-lap race. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next one.
Second pack's just about 2.5 seconds off the bumper of Chris Fowler. They've been making up 1.5, 2/10 every lap. They won't catch them before pit stops here. But, like I said, if they execute, a little better than last time, you may see the 2 packs converge back into 1. But the second pack is definitely working together better than the first pack right now.
Get the field for you here, the rundown. Hobson, the leader, has been he's been up there all day. 47 of 68 laps. Pretty much dominated the lead since he's been there. Mark Cohn right behind him has led 2 of 68. Murph, Ed's led 3. And Yari, he's led some, 8. Teed led 1. Reynolds has led 2. Stouffer has led 1 very early there. Herrick has led 1 during the overlap of the pit stops. And he has now got Chris Fowler with him, so maybe it's behoove those two now to really work with one another. Craig Forsyth has just been kind of cruising, hasn't led anything, but it's just keeping the main pack in sight. And same thing for Fowler, has led 1 lap during the pit stop overlap. And there, right, that you see that second group slowly coming into the picture.
Yeah, I think what's really helping the second group is that you have Fowler and Herrick at the tail end of this group acting not necessarily like an anchor, but just an extra little red flag that you put on your lumber that you've taken out of the hardware store, you know, just a little extra something you could reach out and grab if you wanted to, just get a little bit closer. They have no interest in running full throttle too wide up with the leaders, right? They're just going to stay in line.
But this group,
hang out.
The group behind him, though, needs to run full rich, full wide in order to catch them. And there we see, I mean, they're now down to 1.7. So very, very shortly, they're there. And Ramsey and Peterson are working together. There it is, 3 wide of the lead. Let's get it back up to the front. And they're going 3 wide because Hobson coming
did
in.
Not call out the pit.
No, he did not, and he has done 35 laps again, so he seems to be on a pretty predictable schedule since he's been leading so much. Coming to pit road, this is stop number 2 for AJ, and that Fuzzy's Vodka throwback livery to Ed Carpenter, and of course he wears the AJ Foyt Coyote orange helmet that says AJ on the side. Gets into his stall, skids in there, stops, getting new rubber and full tank of fuel. Down and away. Not a bad stop. 9.4, really.
Murphy in this lap, but Cone and JB had contact down the backstretch. They banged fenders, trying to sort out who was going to get to pit this lap.
Here we see Cone and Murphy. And again, they went 39 laps on their first set. They're only going to go 33 this time.
I think they saw how well Hobson got in and out with a lighter pit.
Well, Wagner is missing. No, I thought Wagner might be missing some body work, but he is in. This should be a quicker stop for him. Last time was a new nose. And he's down and away. Teed is your leader now. Actually, Reynolds is your leader.
That he's coming.
Yeah.
Now, the magic number for Fowler is he needs to get to lap 83 this time because he did not get to 42 last time. He only got to 41. He needs to go 1 further than last time. So 41 plus 42 is 83. And then he'll need to do that every time from here on out, going an extra lap to try to make up.
Well, let's watch this battle. The guys that we know that went the furthest last time, it was Fowler and Herrick. Both went 40 laps. No one else went 40. So we'll watch these guys as they're in this group. And they like the fact that these other guys haven't peeled off in front of them. That's just helping them.
Not only that, but they've got Cone and Murphy not too far back. So if everyone else in front peels off, they could just slot in right behind some cars that have already pit.
Bonus mileage. Three wide in the back with Brubacher, AJ, and Murph. They're just waiting for the pit stop cycles. They do not want to see a caution right now. Those Lovern coming to pit road. Along with that's Hobson, or excuse me, Hysong.
Raffy Reynolds.
Yeah, that's Hinton back there as well. Reynolds on pit road. He's coming to his stall, just stopping now. Teed's still going. Or Teed is, I think Teed is on pit road now. Stouffer, your leader. Eric now moves up to second. Just going to stay in. Right now, it's 3 4D cars, 1, 2, and 3, all in line. Stouffer went 39 laps on his last stint. Does he go 39 this time? Is he able to save a little bit more? Can maybe he catch up to his team owner, Herrick? Herrick going low. That might be his call, that he either wants to go to the lead or wants to go to pit road. He wants to go to the lead. Maybe want to get credit for a lap lead here.
Are there bonus points paid?
I don't think I would want to lead if I was him, but he's doing it. The guy that's really the smartest one here is just, again, Fowler, just hanging on.
If I were in this race, I would look just like that green car. I would be behind everyone else, cruising, just trying to save fuel.
Stouffer, wow. Oh, Fowler. So, I think he wanted to come to pit road and couldn't get down there. Is he out of gas?
No, he's not.
He is. He is.
Oh man, he must have missed his number badly then.
And he is dead stick. You could hear the wind. He's going to have enough to get around to his stall, but this is costly.
Eric is out of fuel on the backstretch. I'm struggling to understand how their mileage was so much worse on the second stint than the first one.
Eric, same thing.
Stint, they also had to.
Yep.
It just must have been the lack of 3 wide in front of them, because everyone was all single file.
And he is dead stick too. That's going to be costly. Here comes Forsyth. He's on the backstretch. Herrick is your leader, but he's going to give up the lead here momentarily to Cone once Cone passes. And Cone's going to have himself a second lead over JB, who's worked his way up to second. Well, Hobson moves ahead of JB. Move Hobson up to second now. Mark Murphy is in fourth. Teed fifth. Herrick falling back to 16th, but he's back under his own power. Fowler same way, but costly for the 40 and the 28. They are going to I don't know how they're going to recover from this one, as Chris Fowler trying now to stay on the lead lap.
That is unrecoverable. I have no idea how they missed their number that badly there. I think Fowler started to realize that he didn't have enough to get back around, and that's why he tried to commit. But ultimately, slowing down to try to make pit road cost him just as much as if he had gotten a penalty. About to go a lap down to Mark Cone just because he spent so much time without any power on the racetrack. And Herrick's even straight away behind Matt Wagner, who ran the whole last run without a front, without the pack because he had lost his front wing on the preceding stop.
Last time Dark Horse visited here, the winner was Craig Forsyth. He swept the weekend, got the pole, got the win. Last time we were at a similar track than this, which was Auto Club Speedway, or California Speedway as I prefer to call it. Mark Cone won that race, a 250-mile affair, round 11 of last season. So Cone definitely knows how to get the mileage to work a way around these 2-mile overs. JB going down low on AJ to get the position.
And we're about to have a 5-car scrap for the lead. And I think mileage is out the window now, Gary. No one's going to be trying to save. I think it's full push from here to the end. The two savers didn't save enough.
Yeah, the guys that went the longest on that stint, Forsyth, 41 laps. Stouffer, 40 laps. And Herrick and Fowler both went 40 and 41 laps for Herrick and 40 for Fowler, but they both did it dead stick. Forsyth and Stouffer did it with fuel still left in the tank. So I think now, if you're saying that it's full throttle, if there's no fuel saving, I believe the last stops, though, might be an advantage for Stouffer and Forsyth because it's going to be a short fill.
Yeah, just a couple of seconds there could make the difference. But I think Forsyth has lost touch with that lead pack.
Well, there he is. Forsyth is now 1 second behind Teed. Teed is the tail car of that lead pack.
He and Stouffer, though, are working together, though, and I think they will be able to swap up to them. Isong, Peterson, Lovern, Hinton are all on an island by themselves. And then Morales and Ramsey, a two-car tandem here at the back of the field. Same with Patutsky and Wagner. They're working together as well.
Now there is Cone, your leader, and they have caught Fowler. Murph's going to go low. He's going to take the position now. Murph to the lead. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1 coverage of round 1 of 4, the Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride series coming to you from Michigan for the LMP Irish Hills 500, presented by the Joy of Driving. We're currently, well, right now the leader is Murphy. There you see him in the Miller All-American livery from 1985. He's on the high side. The car down low, that's Fowler. Fowler was among the early savers of fuel. Unfortunately, came in dead stick last time, cost him a lot of time, and that's going to cost him a lap here, possibly on the racetrack. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race, which won't be until next month. So these guys will have a month to practice and recover as we go to Auto Club Speedway next. Oh, Cone. Oh, whoa.
Murphy, get your nose out of there, Martin. What are you doing?
Cone wants to the bottom and he can't get there.
Oh, Murphy wants to lead badly. Look at him go. Splitting them 3 wide.
And while these guys are racing, that next group is there. Forsyth is there. There they are. Forsyth and Stouffer, they're there. They want this to happen. They want this to happen in front of them. They are actually the leaders in the fuel saving category. Even though we don't think they need to save anymore.
Now, a couple things that may have got lost in the shuffle is that Rafi Reynolds got a pit infraction penalty, so he's now also 1 lap down with Nick Wheeler. What would be the best possible outcome for Wheeler and Reynolds is that Fowler is somehow at the head of this pack like he is now. A caution happens. Reynolds will get the lucky dog, and then Wheeler will wave. And Wheeler's has got to hope for another quick yellow back-to-back.
Yeah. There's a bit of a battle in the next group behind. Here's Morales and Ramsey. This is a battle for 12th. They're swapping to lead back and forth, trying to catch the group of Hinton, Lovern, Hysong, and Peterson. They got 3 seconds in that group, so they need to really work together. get the best part of this second. Now they're in their third stint out of the way, trying to capture this group. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Chris Fowler on the tail end of the lead lap in 17th. That's leading this group. Murph is in second on the racetrack, a leader on the timing sheet. He is first. JB is second. AJ flickering out there, but he's back.
Yes, connection's a little fuzzy.
Ha 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 ha. You can tip him if you want. He'll be here all night, folks. Mark Murphy is your leader.
Don't tip me, just donate to the stream.
Jerry Brubacher, Mark Cohn, Charlie Teed, Christopher Hobson, Forsyth is the lead pack at the moment. A little bit further back there you see Peterson, Hysong, Lovern, and Hinton. And a little bit further back from there is Ramsey and Morales trying to recover this. And he's actually got a bit of a racing buddy as well as Matt Wagner. He's racing with Casey Pahutsky there. Pahutsky there in the 6 plain white wrapper. They're working together trying to reel in the group in front of them. They're only 2 seconds away, so they're not that far. They're a lot closer than that third group is to the second group, let's put it that way. Herrick back in 16th, Fowler in 17th. Reynolds and Wheeler, as mentioned, are now a lap down. Actually, Wheeler 2 laps down, as I believe he had to make his stop. Yep, 2 laps ago.
Tell you what, Gary, Jeff Hysong and Eric Peterson are not going down without a fight. They made up 3/10 on the lead pack that last lap.
Hysong, a participant. Hysong is a participant in the Lionheart Series when they race the DW12s, so he knows this car very well and very scrappy, working with Peterson. And yes, they are running that group down.
That's because I think Murph is content for whatever reason just ride behind Chris Fowler. Like, they're not swapping, and Hysong and Peterson are. That's the 3/10 difference.
Well, I think Murph's doing the best thing, because I think knowing Chris that he might just try to race to stay on the lead lap and might invite an incident or two to something to happen in there. It's a high percentage move. Just stay behind and let the Fowler punch a hole there. Coming to lap 100 at the 200-mile mark.
I mean, the worst that happens, right, is you just invite 4 more cars to the lead pack. So you go from a 7-car lead pack to an 11-car lead pack. That doesn't really hurt Mark at all. Whereas saving fuel to have a short fill at the end and inviting no opportunity for contact. Oh, there it is!
And there's a caution. And it is Fowler. Oh, and Lovern got caught in it.
I think Lovern's going to get righted and use his quick repair.
That's what happened to Lovern. Lovern just coming around. There he sees it happen in front of him. Car goes to the bottom.
He got rear-ended. Up.
By Hinton? Brandon Hinton, I think. Yeah, Brandon Hinton's involved here.
That's exactly what happened.
Try to go back on Hinton here. I don't know if Hinton was just not looking that far down the track, because sometimes you get so caught up in the car in front of you, you're looking at the car in front of you and not necessarily that far down the track. Boom, right into the wall. He'll be able to drive around and execute the fast repair, but yeah, he was probably looking at the car in front of him and not going down the track and didn't see the car spinning.
So good news for Raffi Reynolds here. He'll get the lucky dog. Nick Wheeler just pit on lap 93. He will wave around and be the only car. I guess Chris Fowler will also be 1 lap down, but I don't see him on the track.
Yeah, I think he is punched. I think he's punched out. Not sure what happened. I'm not sure really what happened to him. Let's see if we can go back and see what
He
happened.
clipped the apron. Don't take my word for it. The replay will tell the story.
All right, so here it is. Can we see from Murph's point of view, maybe? And that's just hard racing, trying to stay ahead. And, wow, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's actually...
Catchphrase number 1.
Apron bad. Let's watch him. He's going down the back straight, going into 3. So he's right down on the white line, trying to protect his position. Comes out a little wide to give him a room to arc. And he gets down, and the car really just wanted to go down to the bottom this time, and there it goes. He caught it a couple times. He just couldn't. And right in front of Murph. Oh, AJ just missed it. All the other cars go underneath him. And I think he gets momentarily hit by, Lovern. And that was unrelated. Just happened to be because Lovern got spun out. And they just happened to meet up there. Wow. So first caution. I was getting ready to say we're 100 laps into this thing and haven't seen a caution. We've had incidents, but we haven't seen a caution. And it wasn't me laying down the jinx that time. But I did say that, and you said it was the high percentage move for Murph just to stay in behind Fowler, just in case if you start racing Fowler, something were to happen to him, you get caught up in an incident. And that's exactly what happened.
Commentator's curse, man. It's not all on me. JB had a connection issue and has pulled his car off the racetrack.
Oh, that's one of the leaders. So everyone has hit pit road. So we now know everyone is good for at least the next 35 to 40 laps, we think. Most everyone was in the starting to get into that early window for the next pit stop. The car that had the best mileage, looking on that set, was Forsyth. He was only 21 laps into his stint, but Hobson was 30, Cone was 29, Murphy was 29.
Here we go.
And a restart at 104.
This should be full bore, flat out racing. There's no opportunity to cut a stop by saving.
Oh, Teed. Oh, we're going to go 4 wide off the corner, boys. Hang on. Stouffer to the high side.
What a move by Chris Stouffer.
Wow.
Cars in one corner.
I mean, that's a Thomas Scheckter level move right there. Watch this. We'll set it up here, and we'll ride with them. We're going to set it up here in turn 2. He gets a big run, a huge run off Cone. Cone, like, oh, crap, he's on my high side. I can't let him go. Then he's got even a bigger run by Murph. Murph wisely gets out of the way, and then all of a sudden to the lead.
You think it was the 4D racewear gloves to let him make that move?
Or the lightweight shoes. Either way, go to 4dracewear.com and check out yours today. Proud. Hey, they've been great not providers, but just supporters of us at the old channel. When I thank them for being a sponsor for the Dark Horse next season coming up. Cone still with that purple lap earlier in the race of 32.299. Well, this lead group has some new players in it that we haven't seen in the lead group yet today. Going back beyond Cone, we got Hysong now finally joining this group. Peterson back up in this group, and Brandon Hinton. I believe this is his first start in the series. Double check that. Nope, this is not. This is his second start in the series. He only has one previous start. Started 19th, finished 12th.
Don't look now, but Nick Wheeler is making moves and cutting his way up through the second pack. I have a feeling he wants to unlap himself the hard way.
Well, fortunate for him, he had a fast repair, and also fortunate for him, this is a long, long race. You saw Nick finish on the podium Thursday night for the NASR, well, not the exhibition, it was a recruitment race from Kansas. And a bit of a attrition fest there, but he survived, worked his way up to third there at the end. Of course, that race was won by our good pal Luis Gonzalez Nunez, LGN, on a final green-white restart. And Wheeler around Pahutsky. Meanwhile, back up front, Stouffer is your leader. Hobson now second. And there is Murph. There's Teed, Forsyth, Cone, Reynolds, Wagner, Hysong, Lover now up to 10th. Hinton back to 12th. That lead pack's been kind of joined by a couple more cars. Let's watch Hysong on the bottom there. He is on the bottom right now, 3 wide, coming off of 2. Looking to get more, going into 3 on the bottom.
Something to note, Gary, I think Casey Pahutsky might have damage or side pod damage. He just does not seem to be able to keep his car going as fast as everyone else when it is leading a pack.
Now let's take a look. I don't see on the left side.
Maybe he just had a bad run a couple laps in a row, but he and Wheeler could not catch the front group when they seemed to be right behind them. Oh, you know what I was seeing? He's got a clear wrap on the side pod that goes around. I thought he had a scuff mark.
Ah.
It's just a spec map to make it look like silver.
All right.
Very slick.
Well, look who's our leader now. After having that incident on pit road, Matty Wagner now your leader. He finished second in the championship. The Schaus not in today's race. Probably want to enjoy that championship just a little bit longer before getting in one of these cars again, fighting it out. Wagner also in the running for the ISRA Xfinity Series title, which we will reach the penultimate round on Monday night, 9:35 p.m. Eastern on FTN. You check it out on YouTube there. It's just type in FTN Broadcasting. Foxtrot Tango November FTN. And check us out. That'll be our penultimate race at Homestead. And that'll be me and Mark Murphy, who's in P2, in the booth for that one.
You're telling me P2 is going to be on P1?
Yeah, that's right. Well, P1 on FTN. But technically, everyone's a winner on P1, right?
Absolutely.
There we go.
I can't stop winning. Speaking of the Xfinity Series car, if you have iRacing and you have your B license oval, go race the Xfinity car this week at Kentucky. It is a handful for the first 3 laps and worse after. It is so much fun.
I got a P1 promo car painted up just recently. For if you want to check it out.
I'll race that paint next
All
week.
right, all right.
Since I flamed out in the pro qualifier last Thursday, my iRating doesn't matter anymore. So I'm just racing everything on.
You did a good job, all things considered.
Maybe I'll keep my iRating big enough to try again at Gateway, but
You were one of the biggest gainers there. Not the biggest gainer, but one of the biggest gainers, weren't you?
in the first run, yeah, I had gained 7 spots, and then I did not pit under the first yellow like I should have, and that doomed me to get. I was the last car on old tires. I was in really rough shape because all those guys did the overcut at the end, and I lost 10 spots after I had worked so hard to pass 7 guys at the start of the race. So
we're talking about the Butt Cooker IndyCar Pro Series Thursday nights.
ooh, Gary, that car looks sick.
You like that?
Love it. I'm running it.
That's Ricky Wittenberg from the Vigilante Racing League, which we broadcasted, or I broadcasted a couple of their races last season on the old channel. I asked him, I said, I need some promo cars. Everyone's kind of now just settling back in the line, just realizing that's a long way to go. Coming to the halfway point here in about 4 laps. 250-mile mark.
It'll be a nice 2.5-hour race.
High Song, I told you to watch him. He has now worked his way up to 6th. He's down on the bottom. He's going to work on the draft of AJ, try to get underneath Rafi. Here comes Peterson. And now we got a big group up here. Hinton's here, Cohn's here, Ramsey's here, Herrick's here. Herrick, nice recovery. Bahutsky, he's here. Morales, he's here. Everyone but Wheeler.
Yeah.
Wheeler's in the middle of the group, but he is down a lap. So everyone's together now. Throw a blanket over the entire field for the most part. They're in the picture.
A one big happy family yet again. I thought Wheeler was going to storm his way up through the field here, but he does have about 10 laps fewer of fuel than everyone else, which means he actually is in a position where he has to save just a little to be able to make it to the end with everyone else.
Herrick's back to saving fuel. He is right behind Wheeler there.
A hard habit to break.
I know.
You get rewarded so often for just saving a gallon here or a gallon there. Especially when it's kind of like when you roll up to a chain of red lights. Where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Right? You got first to 18th or 17th here all within 2 seconds. Really, what is there to be gained by passing a couple cars now? Or you want to save a little at the pump instead? Save a little time? Save a little money? Car owner will be happy. He had to buy 2 or 3 less gallons.
Well, that's Herrick. He's the team owner.
Raffy Reynolds made a move for the lead.
Yeah, I'll go take a look there. The number 13 in the Red Bull. That's not camouflage. That's just so I guess your camera can't focus at it. Is that the stealth livery that Formula One tried to use or something, or so they could test and oh, I forget.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
can't look at the body elements and put them in a 3-dimensional renderer.
Yeah.
Science.
Science. Here's Teed to the bottom. Teed looking to get the lap led. I think he did.
He did indeed. He did indeed.
Oh. You're just writing them all tonight, aren't you? Here's Wagner, though. He is up to third, or back to third. He was in the lead for a while, had that incident on pit road. Cost him 5 seconds to get a new nose. Not a fault of his own. Cone kind of came. They all came in the pit road. It was Murph, Wagner, and Cone coming to pit road. Cone came in very hot, locked him up, lost kind of control momentarily, bounced off of Wagner, destroyed Wagner's nose. And then Wagner had to wait 5 seconds on pit road, get a new nose, and by that point, he was separated from the 2 guys he pitted with, his buddies. And he had to work his way back, at least to stay on the lead lap, and then the caution kind of helped things, and now he's back in the lead pack. Finished second in last season's battle for the championship, currently second in the ISRA's championship for the Xfinity Series. Looking to nail down a championship one way or another. He was also among the leaders in the ISRA Truck Series. Finished second there, too. So, becoming quickly our perennial bridesmaid. Here's High Song on the bottom side.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm like the perennial maid of honor, right? Not even...
Well, you get to fight it out with you get to fight it out with Robert Malechka and Brandon Trost every week.
Yeah, my 2 besties, man.
Hobson going to the back. Along with him is Murphy. We are 28 laps into this current stint. 130 laps into it.
If you're Nick Wheeler.
Yeah. Yeah, Wheeler's on a kind of a strategy all of his own at the moment.
Well, he'll probably be pitting here in a lap or 2. We haven't seen anyone go much further than 40. Yeah, he's pulling off low now. I think he's committing to pit road. Here he comes.
On the pit road. A couple more stops still to go to get the distance.
No, I mean, I think he did it perfectly, though, because he's got 120 to go. You go 40 laps every time. You just stop 2 more times. 40, 40, 40. So he saves just enough there. I think he can go full bore and not worry about having to save fuel any longer. I mean, he can't run in the front by himself, but
right.
Good enough. Good enough. Now, what's important is that maybe he can catch. I think it's Joseph Morales there at the back of the pack. Ian Wheeler may be able to swap to catch the pack because it looks like they're just out of touch right now. And so, I take back what I said earlier about where are you going to go. If Nick Wheeler had pit from the front of the pack rather than the back of the pack, he'd be a second closer up the road, right? He'd be a second closer to Morales.
Yeah.
And make it easier for him to get back in line here. So the answer to where you're going to go is pit road, right?
Right.
I want to get there with better track position.
Stouffer and Ramsey, teammates working together there. In fact, all in that picture, every one of the picture right there was a 4D car. Try to give them a better shot, though. Maybe they can take a screen capture for their webpage or their social media.
Gary, I know that you said I would call the winner once the final strategies has been revealed. We're on the final strategy. Everybody's going to be, and barring an inopportune caution, which I don't want to see. Everyone here's done a great job keeping it clean all race. I don't know who I want to pick as my winner. I'm thinking it's got to be Chris Stouffer. That move he made earlier, that's a driver driving with confidence, and he makes another one right now.
Yeah, we're watching him right now. There's Chris Stouffer.
I'm going to put all my chips on the 15 car. That's where I'm going.
That's not a bad call. I mean, look how he drives into the corner so much faster than everyone right now. He takes 2 positions right there.
I'm going to get 2 more on the front stretch. He's going to split them 3 wide. Stick it in there. Come on, Chris.
Watch, is he going to go on the outside again? Oh, here we go. Oh,
he thought about it. He thought about it.
He's got the help of Teed. Gonna have a big run. Here it comes. Teed blocked. Teed might have blocked a little bit, but that's okay. He's allowed 1 move. Going to the high side. Down a gear. Using the banking to come down a little bit. Big run off the top. He's maxed out at 220 down the backstretch. Just can't clear 220. Here comes AJ down low. Another big run up high. Just no one to follow through that time. The way to master these cars without the use of tools, which these is a fixed setup, but unlike the IR-18, they do not have tools available to them in the cockpit other than brake bias. There goes Reynolds to pit road. Here comes the rest of the 40 squad. Herrick, Cone, Murph, Forsyth up there. So it's really comes down to art driving these is how much can you not scrub off, how little can you turn that front wheel when you turn the car, scrub off speed.
That's a part of it. I find Michigan especially is that how can you roll more speed on the exit of the corner, right? And sometimes, paradoxically, that means slowing down, especially on corner entry or the middle of the corner. So maybe not necessarily scrubbing the speed by turning the wheel less, but honestly, if you slow down on a track where it's pretty easy flat on the entry or the middle of the corner, it puts you in position to hold more throttle and attack the banking downward to carry more speed to build a run on the backstretch.
Whoa. Very good. Very good. Whoa, that's a lot closer to look like we were riding along with Stouffer. It just looks a lot closer than it actually is. It's AJ Stouffer.
Tried his hardest to get he tried his hardest to get a speeding penalty.
AJ Stouffer and Herrick looking like they all hit pit road all together. This is now 39 laps into their stint. So Cone's going a little bit deeper this time, along with Murphy. They're going 40 laps. And now they're coming in. Here comes all of them, minus. And there's contact again on pit road. Murph is going to probably need a new wing. Although it snapped back into place. We'll see what happens. Cone got ran into. We'll see if there's any damage on his car.
Oh, Cohn got a speeding penalty from the momentum transfer from Murphy to Cohn.
Oh.
Mark asked for the black flag to be waved, but it is not. He's still stationary serving the speeding penalty. So he's going to lose a lap here.
That is costly.
And we have another disconnection. Matt Wagner has lost connection.
Oh, no. Keep losing 1%. Well, Charlie Teed is your leader after all this. And he has himself a half second over Murph and Peterson and Forsyth. And that gives us a chance to reset the field. If you just joined us, the P1's coverage of the Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride series coming to you from Michigan for the LMP Irish Hills 500 presented by the Joy of Driving. We've completed now 145 of 250 laps. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Season-long coverage of the Dark Horse DW12, or excuse me, the Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride series. So you saying Dark Horse DW12 was just kind of programmed in there. Brought to you by the Joy of Racing. Looking for sim racing entertainment and sim racing content. Look no further than the Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins, avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary to make you laugh, cry, or both. Follow along by subscribing to the Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his Facebook page at the Joy of Driving. Thank you, everyone, again. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell.
Yeah, no better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than watching racing, right? Especially when the big boys are out, taking a vacation because of the Olympics. We're here doing what we can to give you a little bit of racing content to fill your weekend.
Our next race that I will be broadcasting will be over on FTN tomorrow night, 9:35, the ISRA Xfinity Series on FTN Broadcasting. Again, it's FTN Broadcasting. Check them out on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. Then on Tuesday, we'll be watching you, Clindy, as the IndyCar Oval Series goes to Gateway, a track that I've won twice at, but I hate it with a passion. That's the top split broadcast at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's over on the Elite Racing Network. Check that out. Search them out on YouTube and subscribe to their channel. And then also starting Thursday, exclusively over on ERN, I'll be a part of their broadcast team to bring you their next season of their Warriors for Peace IndyCar series, which will kick off approximately about 7:45, 8:15, somewhere in there. Make sure to check their webpage, check their channel for the most details, for the best details of time in your area when they're starting. But they will kick off their 2024 B season, which is their second half of the year season, at Homestead, Miami. That will be on August 1st. Then we will be doing VOR races over on the VOR channel, Velocity Online Racing channel. Check them out also on YouTube. Will be Clindy and me, 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Where we will bring you, again, DW12s from Gateway. Last time we did a DW12 race from Gateway, it was a bit of a cluster. And then finally will be the main event for the VOR series will be their IR18 series, their IndyCar series on the Gateway for a 250-miler there to round out this week. So a lot of action that we'll be covering one way or another. Check us out either on FTN, ERN, or VOR, as we are growing the P1 network right now. Next race on P1 will not be until actually the 11th, which will be round 2 of the Dark Horse Summer Grand Slam Series, as I called it originally. And that will be at Fontana. All right, Teed is your leader.
Warriors for Peace League. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series, yeah.
Yeah, that's also full length, right?
It
or
is
almost full length.
100% length. Yep, and the defending champion is Jason Brophy. Oh, look back in the field. Lovren making an aggressive move to the inside. 3 wide with Reynolds and Hysong in the middle.
Not too far behind them are Nick Wheeler.
Now, I don't know what you got for time, because 100% race leagues take up a lot of time, and we're on a 100% race tonight, as a matter of fact, the 500-miler here for the Dark Horse Series. Lovren almost in the back of Hysong. Boy, if
Gary did a great job checking up.
Yeah, he did, and I tell you what, if Netcode kicked in, that would have been a perfect time for it. Netcode is horrible with these cars. But 100% race. If you're not good with sprint races and you prefer to play the long game, 100% races might be your style. There is a small fee to join the series, but anybody listening, check them out at the Elite Racing Network. You can check them out on YouTube, and I believe they have a link somewhere to their Discord, and you could join their league for a small entry fee. You could be a part of that league as well. It's fixed setup. And it's very competitive, and it's a league that's been around for a very, very long time. It might. I don't know. I don't know how it suit your style, Clindy. You might want to give it a shot, though. But 100% length is a lot of time commitment.
I mean, I ran 6 Indy 500s on Indy 500.
Yeah, but you didn't have a wife at the house at that time.
That is true.
I understand. I understand what it's like to have the wife around. You can't do all this stuff. Teed, Murphy, Peterson, Hobson, your top 4. Forsyth tacking on to the 5th spot. His teammate in 6th, Reynolds 7th, Lovren 8th. After catching this group, Lovren aggressively working his way up to the front now. He's in 8th. Devin Ramsey in 9th, Hysong in 10th. Just under 100 laps to go. Looking at about 2 more stops to get to the end. Is that right, Clindy?
That's exactly right. Nick Wheeler will be the first one to peel off again. He should be probably pitting with about 80 laps to go, so in about 15 laps.
There he is. He's back there in a battle for track position with Cone, who got penalized on pit road for speeding.
So he and Cone have been buddies here. They've been swap drafting every lap to try to catch the leaders. I think they're really on the go plan to try to get their laps back without a caution.
Also involved here is Morales and Pahutsky. Jim Herrick way in the back. Not sure what happened to him, but he is now 6 laps down.
Go back and see if I can discover.
You have a contact with the wall or something? Reynolds around Murphy for 2nd. Oh, Cone is really fast, and he's brought Wheeler with him. And they are going back to being 1 lap down. They're back on the lead lap, I believe. They might be at the tail end of the lead lap.
Ricky Bobby shake and bake move there. They've got a long way to go if this race goes green to try to make up any sort of time, because as they continue to try to swap like we saw earlier, the field will just stick single file behind them and kind of harvest the lap time that they are creating. If they can get a yellow, Con right now will get waved to the tail end, and Wheeler will get the lucky dog because now he's the first car.
Oh, Reynolds, stay off Wheeler. This is what happened early in the race. Roles reversed this time. Wheeler on the outside, Reynolds on the inside.
I'm not one to advocate for payback, but, you know, he needs a yellow, so.
Well, you know, it runs through your head when you see that the 2 people getting together in an earlier incident. Devlin Devin Ramsey down to the bottom. They're going 3 wide through 3. Wheeler now needs to probably think about getting to the bottom so he can get to pit road here soon.
Got 10 laps left in the tank, I believe.
He has 29 laps into his stint.
10 left.
Yep. Reynolds to the lead up front, with Cone kind of now in the middle of the battle. He's trying to stay in the lead lap now. That's what Cone's trying to do.
And we'll see if Reynolds and Hobson are going to take the same strategy that Murphy did earlier. Just kind of ride behind him, or if they'll try to leapfrog around him. Or if Murphy has learned his lesson and doesn't want to trust a lapper in front of him. I know how this went last time. I don't want that to happen again. At this point, I should just start listing all of the possible scenarios, so that way I can't say that I jinxed or cursed any one of them. I made an exhaustive list, okay? Something was bound to happen from that list.
Just watching them make laps here. Not a lot going on. Hobson is your leader. Now the car in front of him is Mark Cone. Cone is the tail end of the lead lap. He's trying to get back on he is on a lead lap, so he's trying to stay there. That's what I'm getting to. Mark Murphy is second. Ralphie Reynolds is staying up high. He is third. Devin Ramsey making his first start in the series for 4D has worked his way up to fourth. Stouffer, his teammate, is in fifth, and his teammate, also another 4D entry, is in sixth. Did you see what happened to Jim Herrick at all?
He got a pit road penalty of some variety, and I didn't want to interrupt Nick Wheeler and Mark Collin ripping up through the field to bore the viewers with.
All right, so now we got an update for you. So that's what happened to Jim Herrick. He's 6 laps down. Wheeler pit road. That's going to be his. That's the speeder. Oh.
More than that. Oh, boy.
And he just toes. I think he's had a rough day. Yeah.
Probably done for the night.
Yeah. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
We've all been there. Reynolds still fighting hard. I don't think there's been a lap where he's conceded position. I think he's always been scheming to work his way up the pylon.
He's from Club California. Now he's going to the outside of Cone. He's like, well, Cone did not. He took the longer way around. Cone's like, I'm going to force you up high.
How about you go a little higher than that, even? Gotta be careful, though, that AJ doesn't take the bottom from you.
Rafi's led 17 of 169 laps. Hobson right behind him. He's led 60 of 169. Murph, 18. Peterson and Teed side by side. High Song back there. Lovern back there as well. The battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
You're within 80 to go. At this point, anyone could pit and then pit again with 40 to go and be totally fine to make it to the finish. So, if teammates or whatever want to start cooking up a strategy, look for that to happen anytime starting now.
Cone just going to stay to the...
Still left with a shot.
I'm sorry, Cone's just sticking to the bottom here, trying to protect his position. Go ahead.
I was going to say, 13 cars still left with a shot to win this thing, all the way back to Brandon Hinton. He and Joseph Morales are almost in danger of losing the lead pack, but it seems like they're starting to work together to prevent that from happening. And with Wheeler pulling off, Cone may be able to roll over and not defend staying on the lead lap as difficultly as he has been, because he knows he'll get the lucky dog if there is a yellow, which he basically needs to contend anyway.
Big run by Reynolds on the outside. Here comes in the one. Oh, Cone sneaks up a little high, fades him. Reynolds tucks in behind. He manages to find just enough room between himself and AJ. Oh, I thought they were going to make contact going to the 3. Getting chippy up there, and it's not even a battle for the lead. Yeah, Reynolds backing in. He heard clear. He took full advantage of it. He slides in, get a bit of a run, pulls back out, goes to the high side. Not going to be there. What he's doing, though, is he's opening the draft on the high side for Peterson and Teed, who are up there now. Let's watch from Mark Murphy's point of view. Oh, big run from Murph. I think Rafi is coming to pit road.
He is indeed.
So this is...
Got down to speed cleanly.
This is his next to last stop? Or this is his last stop?
Correct.
Last stop.
Nope, everyone will need to stop one more time after this.
Okay.
So you're going to pit now, go to about 212, 215, and then that'll take you to the end.
He's doing 35 laps on this stint. So that was pretty good. 38 on the last stint. So he did a little bit further, or a little bit, a little bit shorter. But maybe he's doing that. Who's that? Putski coming to pit road? Yeah, Putski coming to pit road. Maybe come in a little bit earlier, get a shorter fill, save some time. We'll see. Hobson, Murphy, Ramsey now in third. He's in that black. Kind of reminds me of a Brazilian flag, that paint job he's got going on there. Very colorful. Yellow, black. It's kind of a green and blue pattern on the side pods. Jim Herrick makes those liveries. He does a good job on making the liveries. Here is Stouffer, Ramsey's teammate, biding his time, along with Craig Forsyth. I think the winner's going to be one of these two, to be honest with you. That's just how it is at these races, it seems like. Reynolds rejoins in 11th. He's right there with Pahutsky. Both have made their next to last stops.
News from pit road, Teed got hit with a speeding penalty on entry.
Oh! There's Herrick now. Teed joins the world of pain with a speeding penalty. He will now drop back out of contention. He needs very, very badly needs a caution. And Morales going around him. Teed now 2 laps down. Last car on the lead lap is Hysong. He is on pit road. He hits his marks. He's right there with Cone. Cone hits his marks. Lovren hits his marks. Down and away, everybody, cleanly. Cone now goes back.
Ramsey also sped.
Oh, Devin Ramsey also sped. Oh, no. Oh, and AJ misses his spot. And he's trying to find it. And he's still searching. Oh, that's horrible. That's just painful. You go this long into a 500-mile race to kind of give it away. And now there's Stouffer out there. Forsyth coming up off the speed. There goes Stouffer. Peterson coming to pit road. Murph coming up the speed.
AJ just now exiting pit road while Murph and Forsyth are on the backstretch. That's how much time he lost finding his box.
Oh. This late into a 500-mile race just to be sidelined by that. That is just painful, painful, painful. Here comes Stouffer to pit road.
Didn't speed. He's going to be good.
Peterson
right.
Off of pit road. Craig Forsyth is going to pass Peterson to pick up second spot. He needs to come around and get Stouffer. Forsyth is now in the middle of the backstretch. Stouffer now not quite to his box yet. He hits the marks on the spot. Up on the jacks. New sets of tire. Topping off the tank so he can get to the next stop for the final stop. Down and away. Murph and Forsyth are racing. Murph around Forsyth.
Stouffer should be just behind these guys.
Yeah, and then we see them just in the back of your picture there. There they are. There they are at full speed. Oh.
That was brave. I would have never done that.
He was helping his teammate in one hand. On the other one, he was going to make things life difficult for Murph. And now we got a 3-car battle to the next pit stop.
Gary Lovren and Eric Peterson are within spitting distance.
Yeah, they are. And Hysong. Don't rule out Hysong.
Well, they've got Mark Cone in between, so if they can just tail up onto Cone, they have a 5-car fight here for the lead. But I think those front three are going to start swapping and work together to make sure it's a 3-car race.
So it's a race to the last pit stop, and I don't think really you're right now. It's full burn. It's go go go. It's no saving. If you manage to save some on the last stop, you manage to save some by short pitting a little bit. I don't think there's going to be any issue in short pitting here. It's just going to be just enough fuel to get to the end, and possibly a new set of tires. That's it.
Yeah, I think you're going to take the 4 tires. You're going to get almost full on fuel. But again, if you were able to stretch a little bit extra here, taking 12 gallons instead of 18 at the end, might be able to help you out a little bit, but it's not going to be a drastic change. It maybe be a second and a half that you save on the last stop. You save so much more time getting to pit road quickly and leaving pit road quickly than the extra time the short fill would save you.
Yari said he went to the pits, wanted to quickly change something on the sound options, and all of a sudden my wheel isn't calibrated, and that's the race for me. I guess that's one of the dangers when you kind of get into one of these races, when you want to get in to change something and for whatever reason a setting's not remembered or whatever, and you come back. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think if you could have gotten away with that sound issue, I would have gone the whole 500-mile race with that, whatever that issue was, and dealt with it after. Well, right now it's Murph as the meat and a 4D sandwich at the front. 188 of 250 in the books. Murphy, Forsyth, Stouffer is your top three. Lovren, Peterson, Hysong, they are back there 4th, 5th, and 6th. And they are just out of reach of these top three.
They've caught Mark Cohn, so those three can maybe start working together with him, make it a 4-car pack to down the 3-car pack at the front.
And Forsyth, I believe he's led for a while, hadn't led any laps. Now he's led 6 of them of 190.
On the board.
$61 to go. Let's check this next group back out here. Here's Peterson, Lovren, Hysong. They are there with Cohn. Nick Wheeler, I don't condone rage quitting, but the lack of a yellow when Rafa decided I didn't belong in several pieces. I belong to several pieces. Oof. Yeah, I think the deal there is the yellow wasn't going to come out because you went to pit road and that you were out of the racing line. I think that's the thing there. In real racing,
he didn't choose to go to pit road.
Right. But 100% though, if that was real racing, that would have been a for sure caution, because not only would your car been in multiple pieces on the racetrack, I would question driver safety, and that attenuator would probably have to be repaired in real racing. So that should have been a caution in real racing, but not here in the sim. Yep. So gotcha. Understand. So now the second group has now got it under 3 seconds.
I think this front three are going to look to use Jim Herrick as much as they can to add a little bit of extra time.
Jim Herrick is a teammate for Forsyth and Stouffer, so if he's going to help them out, he's going to definitely try to. Otherwise, he'll just probably stay out of the way. There he is. We know he has pace.
It's in Stouffer and Forsyth's best interest to use Mark Murphy to use a 3-car swap to get as far away from the second pack as possible. Like 3 seconds right now is fine, but if they start gaining any more than that, you've really put yourself in a position where you're no longer guaranteed a podium. And then once Murph is out on an island with these 2 4D cars, they can gang up on him and finish 1-2 at the end.
Meanwhile, back in around 8th, 9th, and 10th, or 7th, 8th, and 9th, excuse me, it's Rafi, Hinton, and Pahutsky. They're all battling it out. That might be the last of Reynolds we've seen at the front because of the issues on pit road. But he's going to try to help this group get up to the tail end of Hysong. Now, right now, Reynolds is 3 seconds away from Hysong, so they really need to work together to kind of reel that group in. Try and give you a camera shot. Actually, if we go from Reynolds and we go on his roll bar, there you see those little specks right there. That's the group they're trying to catch. Weather conditions, 66 degrees, ambient, 71, track temp, not a factor at all. That wind is not right. Wind right now is currently 2 miles per hour from the west to the east. There, Raffi has led 18 laps today when he was up at the front. 18 laps into descent for everybody, just kind of swapping positions, drafting, trying to pull away. This first group is pulled away from the second group by 3.4 seconds now. That second group was kind of cutting into them, but now they're kind of falling back behind. And then the third group is not catching this group. So we're actually stretching out.
Starting in about 10 laps, any of these groups, if they felt like the tires would make a difference on the undercut, could come early. However, I'd expect the leaders to go as late as possible.
Yeah.
Because they have a big advantage. Like, they can pit now and they won't go a lap down to the rest of the cars on the track. So they can stay out as long as they'd like and trap everyone else out a lap down in the danger zone, as they like to call it on the IndyCar broadcasts.
The highway to the danger zone.
Yeah, the front group is just faster than the second group. They keep putting half a tenth to a tenth on Lovern, Cohn, and Peterson every lap.
This lead group right here, Murph is the former Indy Fixed Series champion. Forsyth has many wins. In the Vore Series, in the Dark Horse Series, in the Lionheart Series. Stouffer, I think Stouffer's a winner at the Lionheart level.
And he's my pick. I got my chips on that 15 car.
And even Herrick, who's in 15th and involved, he's a winner at the Lionheart level, albeit in the Lotus 79. But if you can win at the Lionheart level, you've kind of really proven yourself. These top three, and really the four, if you count Herrick working and trying to help his teammates, this is probably the most skilled. Looking up and down to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn here. Yeah, I think this is probably the most skilled group right now in this race. They're all together. And it kind of reminds me of the old Randy Macho Man Savage promo where he's sitting there with Mean Gene and he has a cup of creamer for coffee, and he always talks about how the cream rises to the top. Oh yeah. And that's I always say in these IndyCar races, the cream always at the end rises to the top. Whether your name is Craig Forsyth, Mark Murphy, or Kyle Klindworth, or Robert Malechka, it always seems to be at the end of these races, those are where the names are. And frankly, the only way to get better and to better yourself so you can get up with these guys is you got to keep competing. You got to keep those skills sharp. And it's really tough to do.
Me on Tuesday nights?
What's that?
Yeah, Indy Fixed. The Tuesday night top splits at Indy Fixed, probably the best place to get your feet wet.
Yeah.
If you want to look into being competitive in IndyCar, start with IndyCar Oval Fixed. Do it every week. Grind your iRating, get your points up. It's very transferable. If you're fast in the IR18, you'll be fast in the DW12.
But the more you drive the 12, the better you'll get in that as well. That's getting ready to get to that. So, yeah, you gotta keep those skill sets sharp. You got to keep that skill set sharp. It's one of the reasons why when we looked at the Pro Series race, where the IndyCar regulars just finally did a really good job in Indianapolis. First of all, the IndyCar's community regulars, they're amongst the best at oval racing, period. And when you put these cars on oval, you're just kind of feeding that particular strength. Whereas a lot of the guys that the hired guns that are part of the Pro Series qualifiers right now that are trying to qualify, that are got the 6K, 7K rating, road ratings, they're not doing it in IndyCars. They're doing it something else every week. And they're not running ovals.
I held the number 1 car, Bobby Zelensky, off for 10 laps in the Pro Series qualifier, and one of the other Coke guys ran into me, and then DNF shortly thereafter. So, I went jab for jab with them.
And that's the thing. I mean, just because, and when you were driving with the Coke Series guys, like, oh, okay, well, it's IndyCar and an oval. How hard can it be? And so you get these, you'll have the stock car guys get behind the wheel of one of these things, and like all this downforce and all this power, and they just send it, right? And they're not used to working the tool sets, and they're not used to working the weight jacker. And, I mean, sometimes you can speak for this yourself. I mean, you could use the weight jacker differently on each corner of a racetrack.
I have.
Yeah.
That's the secret to success at Atlanta.
Yeah, driving the IR18 is not easy. Driving the DW12s is challenging too when you don't have the tool set and you're used to having it there.
For the longest time when I drove the Fixed Series, I didn't know that there were tools. So before my iRating got good, right, I didn't know it. I never looked at the block box. I was just like, oh, my relative, whatever. For full fuel, never really considered these things, right? Because I didn't think it mattered. It matters a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could find a bar setting and a weight jacker setting that no one else is using and it's working for you, I mean, it's a whole new setup basically. I remember I was in a VOR race, the Velocity Online Racing Series IR18 race, and we were at Vegas, and I clicked on something that it was just an odd combination of anti-roll bar and my weight jacker, and then all of a sudden my car just lit up. It was just like, and I wasn't really pushing extraordinarily hard, and no one was saving. I just clicked on it. No one else found it. And I was going. My car was rotating. I was going to the front. And that's just a feeling like no other.
Gary, do you know how many unique different settings you can have for your ARBs and your weight jacker in the IR18?
No. Have you done
1,476.
Wow. Well, let's go back through the field a little bit.
You find the magic number.
You got to find the. Go ahead with your thought, but yeah, you got to find that magic number. Watching here, Lovern in fourth, Peterson and Highsong now. AJ Hobson has fallen back to a different group, so Peterson, Lovern, Highsong now in a group of their own.
No, Highsong's by himself. Cone is up with.
Oh, there he is. Yep, Highsong. Yep.
And they've lost about a second since the last time we checked in. And it looks like Murphy's going to be pitting this lap. .36 to go. So Murphy's taking the old IndyCar, Indianapolis strategy. Pit as soon as your window is open to go full push in clean air. Just in case there's a yellow. Because he's not going... I mean, he might lose a lap to Stouffer and Forsythe, but to no one else.
Not a good, yeah, I'm trying to get a good angle on that pit. Just not a good one. But he's out, down, done and away. 9.2 final stop. Now it is Stouffer and Forsythe. Actually, it's just the 4D guys. Here comes Peterson also behind this battle with Forsythe and Cone and Hysong. Final stops. Critical stops here. Opposite end, misses a spot again. Cone down and away. Here comes, we got Devin. Ramsey's coming in. Stouffer still has not stopped. 35 laps into his current stint. And
he's losing time.
And he has Herrick with him, and they're both on the basically the same strategy.
Yeah, that's a good swap from him and Herrick, but the previous lap was not as fast.
If a caution happens now, it'll leave Stouffer with a lap lead over everybody.
Yeah, but Forsythe and Murphy would wave around.
Yeah.
Forsythe is almost to the point where Murphy can't catch his toe, but the other 4D cars in front of him can't afford to slow down to give him the little draft he needs to break away.
37 laps for Stouffer, deep in this run. Deep in this run. I would expect him to pit road any time now.
He may be trying to push as far as possible just to get, you know, a little less fuel and have a lighter tank
Here
and
he
fresher
is.
tires at the end.
Here he is. He maybe comes in a lap earlier than his teammate Herrick there, just to give him a clean pit road. Forsythe has passed him now. Forsythe is down the backstretch. Stouffer into his spot. On the marks. Up on the jacks. New tires. Just enough fuel to get to the end. That's all he needs. Down and away. 8.2 seconds in the box. That is a fast pit stop.
He's gonna be ahead of Forsythe here.
By a lot. But Forsythe has a full head of steam.
Honestly, Stouffer just has to run flat Q laps and they won't catch him. He's so far out ahead. And then if Forsythe just refuses to work with Murphy, if they don't swap draft, Peterson and Cone are behind, but Cone's a lap down. They might catch Forsythe and Murphy, but Stouffer should be untouchable should this go green.
And they do have an additional car with Jim Herrick there that can help out.
I think Herrick and Forsythe will start swapping to get away from Murph, and then it'll be a 4D 3-car train at the front.
Also falling out, Charlie.
Helps to have teammates.
Also falling out, Charlie Teed. Not sure what happened to him, but Herrick now moves past Teed up into 14th.
He called it quits once he got his speeding penalty, I believe.
Okay. Oh, Wagner reports power outage. He's worried about his PC. Yeah, you gotta make sure you got a good surge suppressor or UPS unit there, and they're not cheap. You can buy a cheap one, but if you want a quality one that's actually going to protect your PC, they're not cheap. And most people, they use the battery backups like, oh, I can still keep running. No, that's not the idea. The idea when you have a battery backup is so you can gracefully shut your machine down so you don't have to worry about it using up the entire battery. Forsyth is really trying to work with Herrick. Murph is still there. He's 9/10 back from Forsyth, so he's within the envelope. Now he's right at the edge of it now. 25 to go, give or take. I think it's more like 26 there. Yep. And Wagner calls it a mechanical failure. Yeah, we've had a number of mechanicals, from wheels to power outages tonight. 14 cars still running. We started this race with 19. Not a bad field for those that want to show up for a Sunday evening to do a 500-mile race. This shows you how fun these cars are to drive. If you're watching, you like this type of thing, make sure to join the Dark Horse Discord. The link is in the description. Sign up for the series. There's 3 races after this. A lot of time in between each race. Plenty of time to practice. Next race on the schedule is Fontana, then Pocono, then Indianapolis. Just a 4-race schedule. Like I said, it's a Grand Slam tour of the IndyCar Triple Crown. Stouffer by himself by 1.5 seconds with 24 to go.
I'm nervous about my bet, Gary.
I told you where I thought the winner was going to come from. Just how they are, just how they are on this track. I mean, I've seen these 4D guys on these 2-mile ovals, whether it's Forsyth or Stouffer, either one of them.
I just think Forsyth is going to set it up so he has an undefendable run at the end of the race, right?
Yep.
That's the advantage of being the trailing car, and it's teammate on teammate violence here. But Herrick giving Forsyth the opportunity to catch Stouffer makes it feel like my chips on the 15 car are in jeopardy. Whereas Murphy, I think, not necessarily threw the race away, but put himself in a position to get taken advantage of by teammates by not pitting with them. He should have done everything he could have to stick on the bumpers of the 4D cars. That way he could pit with them and stay in their draft no matter what, come heck or high water.
Once again, here is the schedule for the Summer Series. August 11th is Auto Club, then September 8th is Pocono, and September 22nd is Indianapolis. 6 p.m. the session opens. You have this 1 hour for qualifying, for practice, then qualifying's 10 minutes. There'll be 2 laps each, 2-lap average each at Michigan Auto Club and Pocono, and a 4-lap average at Indianapolis when they get there in September. And we do want to thank the sponsor of the series, the season-long sponsor, bringing to us all the races, presented by the Joy of Driving. So if you're looking for some sim racing entertainment content, high-quality entertainment content, look no further than the Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades. He battles for wins and avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary to make sure you laugh, cry, or both. I would think after how he's out working today, it might be a little bit of tears in the cockpit after being competitive so early. But still, you could follow along the escapades there of said Mark Cohn, who's currently in P11. by following him on or subscribing to the channel on YouTube or liking his Facebook page, at The Joy of Driving. The YouTube.
He's got a very likable.
I know he has a likable face. I've been sim racing with Mark Cohn since the 90s. He's like me, him, and Rick Ravon. There's a couple other guys that are out there. George Sandman that are on this service. Yeah, we were racing these guys back in the DOS days. Of course, the races were different then. They were offline races.
Local area networks only?
You could do a modem, and you could do a 1v1 type thing in IndyCar Racing 2, but you weren't racing. You didn't get a chance to race a full field until NASCAR Racing 2003 came out, and by that time I was kind of out of it because, well, I didn't want to race NASCAR. And they did have like IndyCar plugins that you could use for NASCAR to make the cars look like Indy cars. They just didn't behave very well, and they behaved more like stock cars than they did Indy cars. Forsyth is caught up to Stouffer, so now we're going to have a battle to the end with 17 to go. The thing is, they don't want to battle too hard. Otherwise, Murph is going to catch the group. Murph is 2.6 back.
They should probably swap for 5 laps, and then I think they can't be caught. But they're not. They're not swapping.
And I don't know how Jim Herrick wants to settle this. If he just stay up there for a photo moment when they all cross the start-finish line for the win, or does he go back and start maybe holding off Murphy a little bit if he gets closer? And there's nothing wrong with team orders, folks. I mean, it's all part of. People don't like it. I know NASCAR folks don't like them. And I thought the team order for McLaren at Hungary was very dumb.
I think in Formula One it's atrocious.
Yeah,
when they tell you to park or turn out, just let your teammate by.
Yeah,
no way,
and that's the thing with Formula One racing. Your number one competitor is your teammate above all else.
It's your teammate.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
IndyCar racing teammates are a little bit different. The family's a little bit happier when it comes to IndyCar racing.
Scotty Mack wasn't too happy with Will Power.
No, that's what we call fratricide. As the old saying goes, there's 2 rules to racing your teammate. Rule 1, don't wreck your teammate. Rule 2 is refer back to Rule 1. That's how important Rule 1 is. Riding along with Craig Forsyth in the Forsyth Racing throwback livery. Should be mentioned that no relation, but he'll take all the credit for IndyCar staying at Long Beach. Of course, Craig streams all of his races online as well. Anyone has a double stream up, tell Craig we said hi.
All right, Gary, you want the good news or the bad news for Mark Murphy?
Well, let's go with the bad news first for Mark.
He's in danger of losing 3rd place. Eric Peterson may take the bottom step of the podium from him.
And he's racing with Cohn, or at least not racing with, but in cooperation with Cohn.
Together.
Yes.
Well, that's the good news for Mark Murphy, is that Cohn has seemed dead set on towing whoever he is with straight forward. We saw it earlier with Nick Wheeler. We're seeing it right now with Eric Peterson. They might catch Murphy with enough time to go hunt down these 4D cars. They're going to have about 10 laps. They've got to get about 0.2 of a second a lap. The 4D cars aren't swapping, so they could get this done.
I'll tell you what, though. Eric Peterson has 81 starts in this series. 81. No wins. 13 top 5s, 38 top 10s. So a podium finish for him would be fantastic on this night here at the LPM Irish Hills 500. And they're there.
Now, if I were Chris or Craig, Stouffer and Forsyth, I would ask very nicely for Jim Herrick to pull off. The extra 2/10 or 3/10 that he is behind them will allow the 3 cars behind to catch that much faster if they do. If they're not going to be swapping, he's only a liability there, running in 3rd on track, but not in 3rd place.
Well, in about 3 laps, 2 laps maybe, he cannot proceed or he cannot go any higher, so he might as well just kind of park it if he wants to.
Yeah,
Murphy,
he's not going to come back here and run defense actively. He's actually hurting his teammates running right behind.
Murphy is now 2.5 back. 9 to go.
That was half a second.
8 to go.
That was half a second that lap. They're going to catch the 4D cars. Gonna be close, but they're gonna catch them. There's gonna be like 5 to go. They're gonna be right there.
2.3. The strategists haven't reached down to the team yet to let them know to maybe send Herrick back. And the next lap, he won't be able to gain any other positions.
Nothing against Eric Peterson. Eric Peterson's done a great job, but Murphy and Cone together are putting down some very fast lap times with their swaps. They're very, very good.
Six to go. And they bring Peterson along.
Five laps is 10 miles. These cars do it in just under 5 minutes.
Here comes Forsyth looking to the high side. Have they decided that the playtime is over, cooperation time is over, and it's time to go?
Peterson stepping out of the second group. If the 4D cars are side by side at all, Murphy and Cone are going to catch up even faster.
And a bit of a battle back for 12th and 13th between Pahutsky and Reynolds. Let's go through the field real quick. Haisong's all by, he's in, not, I shouldn't say all by himself. Lover and Hobbs and him in a 3-car battle. They are one on top of one another. Really close racing right now. Just behind them is Hinton by himself. Morales worked his way up in the 10th spot. He up in the top 10. He is in 9th. Mark Cohn is in 10th. Devin Ramsey getting down out of the way. He is in 12th or 11th, 1 lap down. Letting Morales on by on the high side, I think. Or either that coming to pit road. Can't tell right now. Nope, just letting going down low. Let's get back up to the front. 3 to go. Oh, all right, there. Okay, there is Herrick. Down on the apron, out of the way. Might be too late. Murphy, 1 second. 1 second, 1.1. 2 to go.
Got 2 laps to make it up. Come on, Murph, give us a show. I want Stouffer to hit to make me look like a mad genius, but I want Murphy to put on a show. Come on, buddy. Go get him, Murph. Forsyth is building a huge run here. That's going to let Murphy catch up.
White flag in the air.
That's the last lap.
Teammates at the top. Now playtime's over. Big run by Craig up high. Going through 1 and 2 up high. Going to get a good run down the backstretch. Stouffer down low. Nowhere to go. He's going to pinch him down low. Going into 3. Craig to the lead. Going into 3. Here comes Stouffer fighting down on the bottom side by side through 3 and 4. One more turn to go. Teammates at the fight, fronting it out for the win. 500 miles. Stouffer to the apron. Stouffer with the win.
Murphy needed one more lap. Commentator's curse was victorious. I cursed the winner with a win. Look at me go. Oh, Murph ran out of gas.
He finished third still.
By a nose over Peterson. Just the front real well. All it needed. The line by a 1/10 of a second.
All right, let's take a look as we queue up some replays here in time to get the interviews in place. But let's do the results. Stouffer with the win by 0.032 of a second over his teammate Craig Forsyth. I called it. I said it was going to be one of those two guys. And then right behind them, less than a second, 7/10 back, was Mark Murphy Peterson, just missing out on a podium. Murph ran out of fuel right there at the end. But you see it was about 200ths of a second there that he missed a bottom step of the podium. Very good for him. Highsong, great finish for him, 5th. Lovern, 6th. AJ Hobson, 7th. Hobson just a couple of bad cues on pit road. But he was a strong racer all day, at least in the first half. Just those miscues on pit road kind of held him back in the second half. Hinton, in his second race in the series, the top 10, finishes 8th. Joseph Morales, 9th. Mark Cohn, the hostess with the mostest. He's going to be given a watch to Chris Stouffer, finishes 10th. Devin Ramsey, 11th. Pahutsky, 12th. Rafi Reynolds showed that he was fast all day despite a little bit of a bump and run on Nick Wheeler early in the race. He's 13th. Herrick is 14th. Teed, 15th. Wheeler, 16th. Wagner, 17th. Yari Brubacher, JB, 18th. Fowler, apron bad, but he showed a heck of a run, at least with fuel conservation very early on there, 19th. And he finishes last in his 19-car field. But a lot of these guys in this thing that had a DNF, there's not a lot of issues with collisions. A lot of issues out there with, as what we call mechanicals, wheels, power, connections, that type of thing.
A heat wave must be affecting people's equipment and their hardware, making Michigan the survival race it was in real life.
Yeah.
Attrition-based equipment failures.
All right. Let's take a look here and see who we can bring into the interview room. And Mark Murphy's already, man. That's how he is. He's like, business is done. Head to the interview room.
He knows the deal.
He knows the deal. And here he is, Mark Murphy. Murph with a P3. We were thinking that another lap or two, you would have caught that top group.
One more, just one more. That was all it needed. But it was a deal where I pitted one lap too early. I think had I stopped, had I stopped on the same lap as Craig and them guys, I probably would have come them, and it's what it is, man. So,
go ahead, Clindy.
I'm gonna ask, did you think of maybe backing up to Cohn and Peterson, like rather than letting them catch you? Did that cross your mind, or were you thinking that maybe you just ride it out and finish third and not give them the opportunity to catch you?
Well, so when we came to the road, it was exactly 0.8 seconds behind Craig and plays the draft envelope. And so until Jim came out, and even a couple of, even for a couple three, I was still holding on right at the edge of that envelope. And so, it was hammered down until they got, more than a second and a half ahead, because, one of them drifts a little bit high in a corner or something, you're going to be able to get back to them. And hats off to Chris and Craig and Jim. They played that exactly right. Man, just so close. Like I said, I was 0.8 seconds behind Craig coming off pit lane. Had it been 0.7, it would have been a three-way fight. But it's the way it goes, and I'm lucky to run this with the Watchman and with the stock car race, and we were having a good time. Poor Matty got his power went out, and then I think we all hit each other at one point on pit road too, so we got to work on that. But
little bumper cars on pit road, yeah.
I think Wagner. I think Matty hit the Watchman first, and then I hit Mark second, and then somebody hit me. But no, it's a good time running with them guys, and so much fun. And I got to thank the guys at Black Magic Designs and all the boys at IAR too. I know they're probably watching, so. Man,
well, you had another near miss on the racetrack when you were behind Fowler when he was trying to stay on the lead lap. He clipped the apron and spun out right in front of you.
Yeah, somebody needed to. I was hoping somebody was going to send me a clean pair of brown pants after that, 'cause that was. I had no. I saw him do up the racetrack, and I tried to miss him. And the way I tried to miss him, he started away, and I thought, oh no, the good news is, Dark Horse, you get a fast repair, but man, that was an interesting one, but it all worked out, and just pleased to be on the podium, and anytime you can run in the top three in a 500 mile, you've had a good night.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's for sure.
Just like I said, admin box, P1 broadcasting, everybody that helps us out, man, it's a lot of fun. Hope it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. I hope everyone liked it at home, and go back and watch it again if you missed parts of it. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good race overall. And you know the drill. You've already done your shout outs and everything. So that's how many times Mark's been to this booth with me. He knows the drill. But I'll see you tomorrow night for the ISRA as we go to Homestead there. But congratulations on the podium tonight, and we'll see you at the next one, hopefully at Auto Club.
Heck yeah, man! It's always a pleasure, Gary, and thank you, Clindy, for doing this. I hope we entertained you guys, and once again, like I said, hats off to the 40 Rig Square team. They did a spectacular job.
All right, and let's bring down Craig Forsyth. Hey, Craig, we got you here in the booth with Gary and Clindy. 1-2 for the 4D team. I think you took the gloves off with about 5 to go and tried to give a good run, and just wasn't able to get that last run off of 4 when he went to the apron.
No, yeah, we. I mean, he hit. Chris had more fuel, so he was able to go longer, and we knew that with Jim out there to provide the swap, that was going to give him a good cushion. I didn't realize it was going to be 3.5 seconds. So Jim was able to get me back up to him, which basically protected me from Mark, which was the important part. At which point it was like, Chris had gotten that position by merit. So wasn't going to challenge him until the last lap. And then I think making the attempt through 1 and 2 was too optimistic. Should have waited for 3 and 4. And that of course meant by shooting my attempt in 1-2, I didn't have the speed down the back straight to play for another one. So we instead just decided to put our cars side by side going across the line. So you got a really cool photo.
Go ahead, Clindy.
That's what I'm going to say. I did.
Okay.
You were about 2 inches short of clearing him down the back on the last lap. Did you think of maybe clearing yourself and making him lift?
No, that's not a good thing to do to your teammate, especially after we've had such a good race of us working the strategies the whole time. We work well, so I've grown out of that type of that's a young race driver thing.
Childish endeavors, right? Was Murphy scaring you at all?
Verstappenness. On my own, I knew that Murphy was going to run me down. The second I came out and we realized that Chris had cleared me by so far, and that I was trapped on my own, we knew that I was basically going to get swallowed up, because they were going to end up with 2 to 3 cars in a group, and that would, on my own, that would take them 2 laps to swallow me up. Even if I had a 2-second lead as a solo car, you're a sitting duck. And we did not want to have to fight hold the second line for 35 laps, desperately tried to hold on to second. It was much easier to just get ourselves pulled back up to the front and clear ourselves of that threat. Was
there any thought, since we saw with about less than 10 to go, Clindy was saying that the next group behind you was catching you. Was there any thought of saying, Jim, slow down and go back there and start racing them to slow them down? Or is it, were you guys not noticing that, or what? No. We were keeping track of their distance to us. And Jim was just happy to sit back there. But as soon as it got, I think it was 1.8 or 1.7 seconds back to Jim, that was when Jim just pulled over. Okay. To get them by. We didn't want Jim interfering with their race. Sure. Or alternatively, we also didn't want him giving them the draft back up to us. So. Right. I think the third car in the battle with you and Stouffer was probably slowing you down for a little bit once he broke away. That might have been your saving grace, because that group of 3, really led by a really fast Mark Cohn car, who's just simply had an issue on pit road. Otherwise, he probably would have been there. He was kind of pulling that group up. We just got lucky. This is his track. Yeah. Well, and you've done pretty well here, if memory serves me as well as right. Next up is Fontana. I know you're good there. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you go? Oh, I got to thank Jim over at 40 Raceway. Jim had had pit issues. We'll just call them pit issues. So that took him out of the race today. So it was unfortunate for him, but it worked out for Chris and I. And I think Devin also he sped and pit in the pit lane too. Yeah. But that made the 4 of us coming in for 40 Raceway. So we got a good result for both Chris and I. And I got to thank Charlie and Eric for putting this on. It's nice to have races to do in the summer when it's usually a lot of downtime and twiddling our thumbs trying to find something to do. So it's nice to have a race. And hey, you guys over at P1, hey, love to have you broadcasting. It's good to be here. Well, thanks for being part of it. Congratulations on the P2. We'll see you in a couple weeks when the series returns at Auto Club. Auto Club, sweet. I'll see you. Safe. All right, and then we'll bring down Chris Stouffer. Here is our winner, Chris Stouffer. Congratulations, sir. Winner by 0.032 of a second over your teammate, Craig Forsyth. But that entire last run, man, really was yours, highlighted by a great final stop.
Yeah, I knew coming in, we're all talking, in Discord there, Craig, Jim, myself, and we're just able to make it work as far as, I lucked out by the benefit of Craig and I think, well, help me out here, guys. Mark, Craig and Mark. Yes, yep. Craig and Mark swap drafted, and I just got to sit behind them and save some fuel. And that's what really helped me out on that last pit stop, was I didn't need to take as much to get to the end. And I came out with that nice lead, and then Craig and Jim came up there, and it was really just fighter formation to the end. Let's just hold down the fort, and I was able to get the win. So very, very pleased.
All right, Clindy.
I guess I had picked you to bring it home with about 150 laps to go, so I'm glad I was able to give you the positive commentator's curse.
Oh, wow.
Way to make Clindy look good. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad I made you look good. Usually, I'm like, Murphy's Law follows me around, and you'll say my name, and I'll wreck the next lap. So, maybe that's good. Maybe that means my luck's changing.
Well, yeah, and as long as you can keep Murphy behind you, right? His law can't catch up to you.
There you go. That's right.
I don't.
Did you think at all when you saw Murphy and them starting to swap draft with Cone behind you with about 10 to go to maybe swap with Craig a couple of times? Or I know you guys rode single file for a majority of that last stint, just kind of being nice teammates. Did you guys think about opening that lead any further once Jim and Craig had caught you?
Well, when they initially caught me, I was like, yeah, we could start swapping. But I knew, you know, it just from racing here, I knew if I just held the white line, which the car was able to do, I was going to be able to hold Craig off, and then the next, when I saw those two swapping back there, Craig was trying to get in my ear and saying, "Hey, we need to do something." I'm like, "No, we don't. We just need to maintain position, do what we're doing, stay the course, and we're going to be all right."
Sure, move over for me, would you? Just for one lap. Move. I promise, I'll move over for you and return the favor. I promise.
Yeah. It was one of those, and I've helped Craig to win. Craig's helped me before. We're excellent teammates. I can't say enough about 4D Raceware and everybody there. They're fun to be around, excellent teammates to have, always bouncing ideas off each other, and looking out for one another. So you can't ask for anything more.
Well, we know you're good here. We know specifically Craig is pretty good here, and obviously you won today. You're pretty good here. Next up, Auto Club. I know both you guys are good there, and then Pocono on the schedule. I know you're good there. So this is shaping up to be a pretty good mini season for you, at least to start. At least on paper, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, we'll say that. On paper, everything looks good, but we got to run the races, and a lot can happen in any given race. So I will hopefully be up there and vying for a win for the rest of these races. Again, shout out to 40raceware.com for the sponsoring me. Go to 40 Raceware for all your sim racing apparel needs, boots and gloves and all that good stuff. And I'm hoping you didn't curse me right there by saying what you did.
I don't have that much power.
Repeat that word by word, but looking forward to the next race. These are long races, which I like the fact that it adds another layer of complexity to it with fuel saving and everything. And I was able to bring it home, do a burnout, pull it in victory lane. So we'll try to do that here in a couple weeks at Auto Club.
All right. Well, we'll see you August 11th. Congratulations, and enjoy the win tonight with you and your teammates.
Thank you. Also, that'll be my birthday race. I didn't even think about it. 13th and 11th right there. So maybe I can get myself a birthday present.
That sounds like a good one. All right. Well, we'll see you then.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Glindy, final thoughts. First of all, I just want to say thanks to you for pinch hitting on late notice. I want to say happy birthday to Andrew, who is out celebrating with his buddies. He'll probably be back here for the next one at Auto Club. But final thoughts from you. You were a big part of this broadcast. I called it at the beginning that you always call your winners very early, and about halfway through this, you called your winner, and sure enough, there he is. So the Glindy... I can't call it the Glindy curse, so it's like the Glindy Midas touch, maybe?
Well, here's
touch?
to me hoping, right? Hopefully halfway on Tuesday night, I can come and say, I'm going to win this race, and I'll be right. I did the opposite to myself Tuesday night at Indianapolis. The second to last caution I was leading, I said, you know what? I'm happy with a podium, and I feel like that's where I'm going to be. I don't know which step. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just raced as hard as I could have with Antonio. But, it's always good to see teammates win the day. And I'm so glad that Chris and Craig were able to bring it home. So thanks for having me today, Gary. It was a fun race. I had a lot of fun here. I love these longer races. It lets you really analyze and pick out the cars you think that are running better than everyone else. And the eye for talent that I have and that you have, I think really gets to shine when we get to look at cars for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I always raced well in longer races, and you can kind of see the story. I'm not a big chess player, but for some reason the whole 3D or 4D aspect of playing chess here on IndyCar racing just seems to play out a lot more logical fashion. And once you can figure it out, you can really kind of pick out who the comers and goers, but every now and then you get a wild card in there. And I think we saw some guys that were up there competing that we normally haven't seen in a while up here competing. And I think that's a good sign for the rest of this little mini season. So I'm pretty excited to see the rest of it, but I'm very thankful to be working with you today. Congratulations on being a part of this. And I want to wish you good luck at Gateway on Tuesday.
Thank you, my man. Thanks for having me. And also good to see some new faces as well, not just faces you don't see all the time. People who made their first start today showed up and did well as well.
Yep, you got it. So that's it today, or for tonight. Once again, your podium from Michigan is Christopher with the win. Craig Forsyth, his teammate, is second by 0.032 of a second. And Mark Murphy bringing home the bottom step of the podium there in third. If all goes well, you can join Andrew and myself for the next Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride event on Sunday, August 11th, as the teams and drivers head to the world's fastest speedway. That's California. It's not Talladega. It's California Speedway in Fontana. Coverage begins around 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, it's 7:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. This channel right here. Best thing to do is just subscribe, and I'll tell you all about that here in a second. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 at the weekly grind. And yes, it's a weekly grind now. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of tonight's race, and everyone that participated in the chat, thank you very much. We appreciate you interacting with us tonight. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you are new, click subscribe. And we know a lot of you are new, and you've thought of you, hey, haven't I subscribed to you before? Yeah, you probably did, and that was the old channel. This is the new channel. So you need to subscribe. Hit that red button. Turn it gray. That's the best thing that you can do to help us. And while you hit the bell for a weekly reminder so don't miss out on more of other P1 iRacing programming. And we're going to have a whole slate of it starting to come up here in the next couple of months. Season-long coverage of the Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride series is brought to you by the Joy of Racing. Looking for entertaining sim racing content? Well, look no further than the Joy of Racing. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades and expertise as he battles for wins and avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes. He has better reflexes than I can talk right now. All the while providing commentary to make sure you laugh, cry, or you can do both. Whatever. Follow along by subscribing to The Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his page on Facebook. Just find the page at The Joy of Driving. Track cams today provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash. To learn more about Whiplash, follow them on X and Instagram or like them on Facebook. All the links to their sites are in the description there. So for Kyle Clinworth, Andrew Wood, even though he's not here, we want to wish him a happy birthday. Everyone here at P1 and the Dark Horse Racing Series, I'm Gary Gotson saying to all, thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here Sunday, August 11th in Fontana for the next race of the Dark Horse 2,000-mile ride series. Good night.